Chapter 1836. Although Fan Jinja had seen how powerful Yang Ming was, he did not give up. On the contrary, the resentment in his heart deepened. He must make Yang Ming pay the price. He must let Yang Ming know the consequences of offending him. Fighting for a woman with me is a dead end. However, Fan Jinja was not a fool. He did not dare to face Yang Ming head-on this time. He was going to use a roundabout strategy to start with others. According to his understanding and investigation, Yang Ming was Chen Mingyan's girlfriend, but now he was hanging out with Zhao Ying. If I tell this news to Chen Mingyan, let's see if Yang Ming will die or not. Hee. Thinking of this, Fan Jinja's injuries no longer hurt. He only felt that his whole body was full of strength. Niu Zhadan did not stop him. He fixed the tire for him and wished him a safe trip. However, he lamented in his heart. Since you are looking for death, then don't blame me for not reminding you. But at the same time, another car was also driving towards Donghai. However, it was not on the old road, but a new Dongsong road. Xiao Qing and Zhou Jiejia were sitting in the car. Both of them were invited by Sun Jia, so they came. The driver was Xiao Qing. She was driving Lu Weishan's Audi A6. Things were actually very coincidental. The situation at that time was like this. In the morning, Zhou Jiejia came to the laboratory and saw Xiao Qing, so she said, "Sister Xiao Qing, I will stay in the laboratory at night. Can I stay with you?" "Why? Isn't Yang Ming back? You don't want to stay at home?" Zhou Jiejia knew about Xiao Qing's matter clearly. Zhou Jiejia was not a person who liked to be jealous, so the two got along very well. They talked casually. Sister Mengyan and Sister Lin went to Donghai to participate in the school's spring outing. Yang Ming also has something to do. It is boring to leave me alone at home, so I will stay here, said Zhou Jiejia. She used to call Lin Jiyun Sister Jiyun, but later everyone called her Sister Lin. Zhou Jiejia was used to calling her Sister Lin. Oh. Go to the East Sea? I remember now. Their economics department did go to Donghai to play. They seemed to go to the Sea Moon Resort. They even asked our computer science department if we wanted to go. Xiao Qing nodded. But I remember that it is Sun Jia's property. Zhou Jiejia naturally knew Sun Jia through Xiao Qing. She also saw Zhao Ying. She roughly guessed that Sun Jia and Yang Ming had some relationship. As for Zhao Ying, she couldn't see through her, but she didn't ask. Zhou Jiejia felt that she was already very happy to be with Yang Ming, so for some things that could be seen, she just buried it in her heart and didn't say it to Chen Mengyan. For example, Jing Xiaolu's matter, Xiao Qing's matter, and Sun Jia and Zhao Ying whom she met later. These people more or less had some unclear relationship with Yang Ming, but Zhou Jiejia didn't mind. Really? So it is Sister Sun Jia's property? If I knew this, I would have gone with them. Sister Sun Jia should entertain me, right? Zhou Jiejia had some regrets. She rarely went out to play. This time, she actually wanted to go with such an opportunity, but undergraduate students weren't allowed to bring their friends. Chen Mengyan was also the president of the student union. Naturally, she couldn't take the lead to violate the rules of the department, so Zhou Jiejia didn't want to trouble her. However, now that she heard Xiao Qing say this, she regretted it. It was Sun Jia's territory. Her relationship with Sun Jia wasn't very familiar, but it wasn't strange either. She had eaten with Sister Xiao Qing several times, so if Zhou Jiejia knew, she would definitely go. Anyway, it was Sun Jia who entertained her. It had nothing to do with the university. If they played together, the university couldn't control it. Xiao Qing was a little speechless. Jiejia, your mother also has shares in that resort. You don't know? Ah. Zhou Jiejia was stunned. My mother's shares? Yeah, Sea Moon is one of the projects that your mother and the Donghai Sun family cooperated to develop. You don't know? It was just last year. Xiao Qing felt a little inconceivable. Zhou Jiejia's family had shares in the Sea Moon project. How could Zhou Jiejia not know? At that time, I had a conflict with my mother, because of Yang Ming's matter, so I didn't know what her company was doing. Zhou Jiejia explained with a bitter smile. Later, she retired and went on a trip with her father. I didn't have the heart to study what their company was doing, so I didn't know. Zhou Jiejia said this and stuck out her tongue embarrassedly. Sister Xiao Qing, when you said this, I regretted a little. If I knew that my mother had shares, I would have gone no matter what. Hee, it's not too late now. Jiejia, do you want to go? Do you want us to go too? Xiao Qing saw that Zhou Jiejia was a little disappointed, so she suggested. Anyway, now the research was coming to an end. There was no need to stay in the experiment every day. Us? Go now? Zhou Jiejia listened to Xiao Qing's words and was a little moved. Is it okay? I will call Sun Jia and ask. Xiao Qing said as she took out her mobile phone and dialed Sun Jia's phone. On Sun Jia's side, the phone was quickly answered. Hello, Qing Qing. Why did you think of calling me? You should be in the research room at this time, right? Heh, can't I call you when I'm done? Xiao Qing said with a smile. Jiejia, and I want to go to your Hai Mingyue resort. How about it? Do you welcome us? Even if you're not welcome, you have to welcome Jiejia. Hai Mingyue has Jiejia's shares. When Auntie Hua left, she transferred all her shares to Jiejia's name. It's just that she, the major shareholder, hasn't come to inspect her industry in Donghai. Hee, that's fine. Let's go now. Right, Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun also went today. Xiao Qing hesitated and said, our school's economics department's activity is at your hotel. Zhao Ying also went. Oh. I really don't know about this. It should be the hotel's manager who contacted the business. I'm still in the head office. Sun Jia said, if this is the case, then I will go and join in the fun. Are you coming over now? Okay, let's stay in the same room. We can find Zhao Ying. Xiao Qing said, then we will go now. No problem. I will go over after I finish these documents. Tian Donghua, this kid, is still not mature. Third uncle and I have to keep an eye on him. Sun Jia said helplessly, see you later. Done. Xiao Qing hung up the phone and said to Zhou Jiejia, let's go. We will go now. So Xiao Qing and Zhou Jiejia also embarked on the journey to Donghai. The few girls were about to meet in Donghai. Chapter 1837. Xiao Qing and Zhou Jiejia went light. Zhou Jiejia was half the owner of the hotel, and the other half was Sun Jia. So, when Xiao Qing went, it was like going to her own territory. Why would she bring anything? At the entrance of Donghai Hai Mingyue Resort, Xiao Qing saw Sun Jia's Audi R8 sports car. She honked twice, and Sun Jia ran out of the car. She glanced at Xiao Qing in the A6 behind her, then she smiled and ran over quickly. Qing Qing, why are you driving this car? It's my godfather's car. I don't have my own car. Xiao Qing shrugged. I'm not as rich as you. I'm a dean. How much is my monthly salary? How can I afford a car? Who asked you to buy it? Let your god-brother buy it. He's so rich. It's a waste not to spend it. Sun Jia looked like she was going to eat a big shot. I was going to ask him to give me a car. Oh. You're a big boss, and you still need someone to give you a car? Asked Xiao Qing. Yang Ming doesn't care about my business. He gave it to Tian Donghua. Sun Jia said, Yang Ming has a lot of money. What's this? Xiao Qing shook her head. She really didn't know that Yang Ming was so rich. She didn't ask. But in the past year, Yang Ming's growth was too fast. From Yang Ming, who first participated in the Hong Kong auction and earned his first pot of gold, to Yang Ming, who didn't even care about Sun Jia's business. Xiao Qing couldn't believe it. However, for such an excellent man, all of this was not accidental. Otherwise, how could a few of them fall in love with him at the same time? Hee, Sister Jejia is here too? In the evening, do you want to learn from me when I serve young Master Yang? Sun Jia already knew the relationship between Zhou Jejia and Yang Ming, and Zhou Jejia also knew her relationship with Yang Ming, so Sun Jia spoke without thinking. I don't want to. Zhou Jejia suddenly thought of the scene and she saw Yang Ming and Xiao Qing in Xiao Qing's dormitory that day. She suddenly felt a little hot, and her little face couldn't help but blush. Don't want to study? Do you want to be with us? Sun Jia continued to tease Zhou Jejia. I. Sister Xiao Qing, look at Sister Sun Jia. She always says something embarrassing. Zhou Jejia lowered her head in embarrassment. Don't bother with her. She's just like that. Xiao Qing was speechless as she explained, you'll get used to it. Oh. Zhou Jejia blushed and nodded. Habit? How could he get used to it? If he lived with her in the future, wouldn't he be embarrassed to death by her? Okay, I won't tease you anymore. In fact, you misunderstood. Sister Jejia, I just meant to massage Master Yang's back, hee. Sun Jia smiled. I didn't think about it. Zhou Jejia's face was redder. She complained about Sun Jia in her heart. I'll find you a place to stay first. Sun Jia said, Yang Ming hasn't arrived yet. The spring outing group of your school's economics department is very experienced. They will probably arrive at noon. At that time, I will arrange for Yang Ming and Zhao Ying to stay at your place. There are luxurious villas here. Let's stay in the villas together. Yang Ming is coming too. Xiao Qing and Zhou Jejia were stunned. They didn't expect Yang Ming to come too. Yeah, he came with Zhao Ying. Didn't you know? Sun Jia looked at Xiao Qing and Zhou Jejia with some doubts. I didn't know. He actually came with Zhao Ying? Xiao Qing was a little surprised. Chen Mengyao seems to be coming too, right? Hee, then I don't know how Master Yang will arrange it. Sun Jia didn't worry about this. Get in the car first. I'll take you to the villa. This was Sun Jia's territory. It was easy to find a villa. Sun Jia drove in front, and Xiao Qing followed behind. After a while, they found an independent villa with a view of the sea. Sun Jia parked the car in front of the villa, and then Xiao Qing also parked the car in front of the villa. Let's go. Let's go up and talk for a while. When Yang Ming comes, I will ask him to come directly. As Sun Jia said this, she took Zhou Jejia and Xiao Qing upstairs. This villa is so big. Isn't it too big for just a few of us to live in? Xiao Qing looked at the luxurious decoration of the villa and asked hesitantly. This villa was originally reserved for me. I have never let others live in it, Sun Jia said. Jejia, the major shareholder, didn't say anything. Qing, are you not willing to do it first? Okay then. Xiao Qing could only nod. In fact, this villa had a feeling of home, which made Xiao Qing a little panic. She didn't want her relationship with Yang Ming to be exposed, but Sun Jia unexpectedly knew about it. Because Zhao Ying and Sun Jia became sisters, she naturally knew about Xiao Qing's matter. Zhou Jejia was even more surprised to see Xiao Qing and Yang Ming together. This made Xiao Qing shy and embarrassed at the same time. She never thought about being with Yang Ming because she didn't know if she could pass the test of her godfather, Lu Weishan. Secondly, Yang Ming was in school every day, so this relationship couldn't be made public. So, Xiao Qing's thoughts were a little dull. She never thought that one day, she could live with Yang Ming and live under the same roof as Yang Ming's other women. Now, in this villa, Xiao Qing suddenly had a feeling of home. This feeling made her panic, but it also made her feel happy. Zhou Jejia's topic was always about computers and the internet. She could only find common topics with Xiao Qing. The three people couldn't always talk about Yang Ming, so Zhou Jiejia naturally talked to Xiao Qing about computers. Sun Jia, on the other hand, was bored and dialed Zhao Ying's phone. Yang Ming and Zhao Ying were already a certain distance away from the team in front. Although little Wang drove very fast, it was still impossible to catch up in a short time. Zhao Ying's phone suddenly rang. Zhao Ying originally thought it was Fan Jinjia, but when she took it out, it was Sun Jia who called. It's Sun Jia's phone call. Zhao Ying glanced at Yang Ming and said, "Then pick it up." "Why don't you pick it up?" Yang Ming smiled. He didn't expect that she and Sun Jia actually became good friends. This was really unexpected. "Hello? Sun Jia?" Zhao Ying picked up the phone. "Ying, guess who is next to me?" Sun Jia's voice came from the phone. "Who is next to you?" "What do you mean?" Zhao Ying was stunned. "Sun Jia, what are you talking about?" "Hee, you didn't expect it, right? Qingxing and Jiejia are here." Sun Jia smiled. "They are next to me." Chapter 1838. Ah. Xiao Qing and Zhou Jiejia also went? Zhao Ying was shocked and was a little embarrassed. Subconsciously, Zhao Ying thought that they were here to denounce her. After all, she was in the same car as Yang Ming, and they all went to Donghai. Zhao Ying was naturally nervous. "Yeah, they heard that you and Yang Ming came, so they all came over," Sun Jia said with a smile. Ah. Zhao Ying was embarrassed after listening. She didn't expect Xiao Qing and Zhou Jiejia to know that she and Yang Ming came over. Of course, it wasn't only Zhao Ying who was embarrassed. Yang Ming, who was next to Zhao Ying, was also very confused at the moment. If Xiao Qing came, then so be it. Why did she bring Zhou Jiejia? Yesterday, I swore to Chen Mengyan, Lin Jiyun, and Zhou Jiejia that I was going to do something. In the end, the thing that I was going to do was to accompany Zhao Ying to Donghai to play. Ying, in fact, everyone's thoughts are the same as yours. They are all coming for Yang Ming, so you don't have to worry. Why don't you come? Let's have a good chat so that we can get along better in the future. Zhao Ying listened to Sun Jia's words and couldn't help but be surprised and happy. Zhao Ying hadn't contacted Yang Ming's other women before. Even if she did, she rarely talked about Yang Ming because everyone naturally avoided talking about it. But now, listening to Sun Jia's meaning, it seemed that she was ready to talk about everyone's problems openly. This was also what Zhao Ying was willing to see and accept. She wanted to live with Yang Ming in the future. Naturally, she couldn't avoid the recognition of these people. If she could contact them in advance, then it would be good for the future. Therefore, Zhao Ying only hesitated for a moment before agreeing. "Then, we will wait for you to come. The villa has been prepared for you. Now, only you and Jiejia haven't really become Yang Ming's women. This time, it's up to you," Sun Jia said with a sly smile. "Sister Sun Jia, you are so annoying." Although Zhao Ying had this impulse before, it was only a momentary impulse. Now that Sun Jia mentioned it again, she felt very embarrassed. "Hee, don't lie," Sun Jia said with a smile, "let's talk about it when you are here. We will wait for you." Zhao Ying responded shyly. When Zhao Ying hung up the phone, Yang Ming asked, "Is it Sun Jia?" Sister Xiao Qing and Jiejia also went. Zhao Ying smiled bitterly. "I didn't expect so many people to come when you accompany me." Zhao Ying was a little embarrassed. Originally, she just wanted to find a netizen to annoy Fan Jinjia, but she didn't expect the person she found to be Yang Ming. Now, all the plans were disrupted, so Zhao Ying was a little overwhelmed. "Let them go. Since you really want to wait for me to come back, you have to get to know them. Waiting alone is much lonelier than waiting with a group of people." Along the way, Yang Ming also figured out a lot. Although Zhao Ying was sometimes indecisive, she was particularly stubborn when she decided on something. Resigning from Songjiang No. 4 High School to study here as a graduate student had already reflected Zhao Ying's feelings. Yang Ming was very touched that she could silently like him for such a long time. After listening to Zhao Ying's defense about the netizens, Yang Ming was even more speechless. Originally, he wanted to have a showdown with Zhao Ying and let Zhao Ying put away her thoughts, but now it seemed that the hope was really slim. Especially after hearing the conversation between Zhao Ying and Sun Jia. Sun Jia invited Zhao Ying to have a good chat. When everyone got along well in the future, Zhao Ying was particularly excited and happy. Yang Ming knew that it was already very difficult for him to convince Zhao Ying. So, in this case, he could only leave everything to fate. Yang Ming sighed, but he gritted his teeth in his heart. Since Zhao Ying is added, then my responsibility is increased. I am not alone, and there are so many girls who care about me behind me. As a result, Yang Ming had to be more careful and strive to come back safely. Although leaving them behind and resolutely going to Yunnan was a little unfair to them, in the face of righteousness, Yang Ming could only put down the family matters. Elder Yu had to be dealt with. Otherwise, if he stayed, it would definitely be a disaster. I am the most likely person to end Elder Yu's life. If I don't do it, who will do it? However, because of Zhao Ying's intentions, Yang Ming's courage and confidence in his heart increased a little. No matter what, I must live. As long as I am alive, there is hope. You are willing to accept me? Zhao Ying looked at Yang Ming with some surprise. He was still making excuses before. How did he figure it out in such a short time? Yang Ming nodded and suddenly pulled Zhao Ying's hand, making Zhao Ying, who had always been reserved, a little shy. We are all adults and our thoughts are very mature, so if you insist on being with me, I can't stop you. I can only let nature take its course. Besides, it's not that I don't have feelings for you. If I think of you in the arms of another man, I am afraid my heart will be broken. Heh. Zhao Ying listened to Yang Ming's words and couldn't help but cover her mouth shyly. You can rest assured. Even if you reject me, I won't like others. At most, I will be alone for the rest of my life. Then I can't let you go. In just a few minutes, after listening to the phone call between Zhao Ying and Sun Jia, Yang Ming changed his mind. It was best to let nature take its course. Otherwise, if he firmly rejected Zhao Ying, I am afraid that Zhao Ying's heart will be more uncomfortable, and I won't feel good either. As I said, if Zhao Ying finds another boyfriend, I will be even more uncomfortable. If you don't let me go, then you have to be careful. Zhao Ying knew that she couldn't stop Yang Ming from performing the mission, so she could only encourage him behind his back. I will. Yang Ming had been thinking about this issue before. Little Wang overtook all the cars all the way, but in the end, he couldn't catch up with the large group of people in front. The previous delay was too much. When Yang Ming's car drove into the Sea Moon Resort, the others had already arrived. Several buses were parked in front of the accommodation building. There was no one in the buses. Obviously, the students had already stayed. Should I call Sister Sun Jie? Let her pick us up. Zhao Ying didn't know where the villa that Sun Jie mentioned was. No need. Let's look around first. Yang Ming hadn't been to this resort yet. The Sea Moon Resort was built very luxuriously. Yang Ming sighed. It was worthy of being a first-class resort in the provincial capital. Yang Ming let little Wang drive around the resort. He saw a very luxurious beach independent villa with 2 cars parked in front of it. One was an Audi A6 with Song Zhang's license plate, and the other was an Audi R8, which was Sun Jie's car. Chapter 1839. Sister Xiaoqing and Sister Sun Jia are both inside? At the door of the villa, Zhao Ying was a little timid. Although Sun Jia already knew about her relationship with Yang Ming, and Xiaoqing also knew about this matter, she was still a little embarrassed to take a car with Yang Ming. It's okay. They are very easygoing. Yang Ming smiled and said, let's go. Let's go in. Brother Yang, I'll wait in the car. Little Wang didn't know what he was going to do at the moment, so he asked. You park the car and come to the villa. There are plenty of rooms. You can live downstairs. Yang Ming said to Little Wang. That's fine too. I can be the gatekeeper. Little Wang nodded and waited for Yang Ming and Zhao Ying to get off. He parked the car side by side next to Xiao Qing's Audi A6. Congratulations to Ying for your success. When Zhao Ying entered the villa, she was shocked. She saw that Sun Jia, Xiao Qing, and even Zhou Jiejia were looking at her with a congratulatory look. Their mouths were also congratulating her. Zhao Ying suddenly blushed. She was so shy that she couldn't control herself. Sister Xiao Qing, Sister Sun Jia, you are making fun of me, hee hee, how can it be making fun of you? We all have the same thoughts. It's just that you are reserved. Sun Jia walked over and held Zhao Ying's hand. Today, you are dating Yang Ming, right? We won't bother you. We are not here to compete with you for territory, but to cheer for you. Yeah, Zhao Ying, Jiejia and I are also here to cheer for you. Xiao Qing also said with a smile. If Xiao Qing was here to cheer for her, Zhao Ying could understand. But why would Zhou Jiejia also cheer for her? Isn't she on Chen Mingyan's side? Why would she support me? Zhao Ying looked at Zhou Jiejia with some doubts, not knowing what she was thinking. Sister Ying, don't be shy. In fact, I'm the same as you. I'm very persistent. I'm also very impressed that you can resign and come to Songjiang Industry University to be classmates with Yang Ming. Zhou Jiejia said to Zhao Ying in order to reassure her. In fact, Zhao Ying misunderstood Zhou Jiejia. She wasn't a person in any aspect. She had a good relationship with Chen Mengyan, but she also had a good relationship with Xiao Qing. Zhou Jiejia's own road to love was very bumpy, so for girls in the same situation as her, she felt a sense of closeness from the bottom of her heart. She would not stop them from pursuing their happiness. Zhou Jiejia's character of not fighting for anything was also destined for this, so she was still very sympathetic to Zhao Ying, the royal sister. She could be together with Yang Ming, but she couldn't just ignore others, right? Thank you. Zhao Ying was very moved. She thought that everyone would have a criticism meeting, but she didn't expect everyone to be so tolerant and understanding. This made Zhao Ying a little embarrassed. Thank you, everyone. Well, you don't have to be an outsider. In a while, we will let Yang Ming be proud. Sun Jia said, let's go upstairs and talk, okay? Zhao Ying nodded without hesitation. She also wanted to get close to everyone from the bottom of her heart. Zhao Ying went upstairs under the pull of Xiao Qing and Sun Jia. Yang Ming looked at their backs and felt a little sad. It can't be, right? They just left like that? They don't care about me anymore? Hey. If you go upstairs, what should I do? Yang Ming couldn't help but ask. You can guard the door for us downstairs. You can chase away all the bad guys and little monsters. Sun Jia winked at Yang Ming, making Yang Ming have a feeling of infatuation. If it were other people, they might obediently go and be the door god, but Yang Ming's current immunity was relatively strong. He only lost his mind for a short while and returned to normal. Little Wang is the door god here. There won't be bad guys. I think I should go upstairs and see if there is anything I can help with. You can rest assured. We will help you to popularize your knowledge to Zhao Ying first. We will definitely send her to your room at night. Sun Jia saw that Yang Ming couldn't be fooled, so she said with a smile. Then I will wait. Yang Ming also knew that there might be something private between them, so he didn't disturb them. He smiled and said, then I will go to sleep first. I woke up too early today, so I need to get some sleep. When they came to the room upstairs in the villa, Zhao Ying, Sun Jia, and Xiao Qing were familiar with each other. However, because of the addition of Zhou Jiejia, Zhao Ying seemed to be a little shy. She was a little unnatural and couldn't let go. Sister Ying, sit down. Zhou Jiejia sensibly took Zhao Ying's hand and sat next to her. Sister Ying, in fact, I have long known your thoughts. I am also clear. In fact, I am worse than you. Yang Ming didn't like me at first, but the hard days have finally passed. The dawn of happiness is in front of us. Zhao Ying listened to Zhou Jiejia's words and was very moved. Zhou Jiejia was a good girl. She was tolerant and stood aloof from worldly affairs. Of course, what Zhao Ying didn't know was that Zhou Jiejia used to be jealous. Otherwise, she wouldn't have gone to the teacher to complain to Yang Ming and Suya. But now, Zhou Jiejia had changed. Zhao Ying's heart was somewhat distressed for Zhou Jiejia. She had just looked forward to a beautiful future, but Yang Ming was going to leave. Can he come back this time? It seems that these people don't know about this matter. Only I know about it. Zhao Ying didn't know if she should say it. Forget it. Yang Ming didn't want me to reveal it. I shouldn't say it first, so as not to make everyone worry. After Yang Ming left, even if he didn't say anything, everyone would probably know about it for a period of time. Ying, welcome to our big family. Sun Jia reached out. Although we have known each other before, and we are good classmates, let's get to know each other again. We are all Yang Ming's women. I hope that we can get along well in the future. I will. Zhao Ying shyly reached out and shook hands with Sun Jia. However, she was very happy in her heart. This meant that she accepted Sun Jia. Zhao Ying had been worried that Chen Mengyan wouldn't accept her, but now it seemed that her worries were superfluous because there were many women in Chen Mengyan's camp. Even Zhou Jiejia was pulled over to be a neutral party. Then, who was left on Chen Mengyan's side? Zhao Ying breathed a sigh of relief. Even if she wasn't accepted by Chen Mengyan, at least there were so many sisters here who accepted and tolerated her. Her previous worries were swept away at this moment. At this moment, Zhao Ying really opened her heart. Looking at the women who were sincere to her and tolerated her, Zhao Ying felt that she had nothing to hesitate and be reserved about. Chapter 1840. The hesitation and reserve in the past were entirely because of Chen Mengyan. Now, with Sun Jia as a good friend, what was there to be afraid of? If Chen Mengyan doesn't accept it, then she doesn't accept it. Isn't it good and happy for me to be with Sun Jia, Xiao Qing, and Zhou Jiejia? Moreover, Wang Xiaoyan is also on my side. In this way, even if Zhou Jiejia is neutral, there are 3 people who support me. With so many friends supporting me, what else do I have to worry about? Sometimes, you may not be able to figure out a thing even after a few years, but sometimes, you can figure it out in an instant. This was what it meant to be enlightened all at once. Sisters, first of all, let us welcome Zhao Ying with a warm round of applause. Sun Jia said and clapped first. Under the influence of Sun Jia's atmosphere, the others also clapped. Of course, everyone was sincerely welcoming Zhao Ying, and they weren't just responding with false enthusiasm. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Zhao Ying didn't expect everyone to be so enthusiastic. She was so excited. Today is the happiest day in my life. With your support, I am very happy, hee. It will be great if everyone understands and tolerates each other in the future. Sun Jia said with a smile, Ying, since you have joined our big family, then I want to take this opportunity to say something to everyone. As Sun Jia said this, the smile on her face disappeared. Her body that was sitting on the sofa was a lot straighter. When everyone heard that Sun Jia was going to talk about business, they all put away their smiles. They looked at Sun Jia without blinking. They were all listening attentively. Sisters. I want to say something that is related to our happiness. Sun Jia said seriously, we all like Yang Ming, but everyone knows that Yang Ming's real girlfriend is Chen Mengyan. I believe that everyone knows what kind of personality Chen Mengyan has, and Zhao Ying should have a deeper understanding of it. It wasn't a secret that Zhao Ying was scolded as a vixen by Chen Mengyan at the temple fair. Many people knew about it, so it also proved that the relationship between Chen Mengyan and Zhao Ying wasn't good. They had a good relationship now because Chen Mengyan felt that Zhao Ying and Yang Ming had no relationship. But once the two had a relationship, would Chen Mengyan accept her? This was a very important thing. Chen Mengyan was originally a narrow-minded person. Although she had changed and accepted Zhou Jiejia, Lin Jiyun, and Shuya, she couldn't accept the others. Especially Zhao Ying, her former teacher, and Xiao Qing, her god-sister. As for Sun Jia, Chen Mengyan probably wouldn't accept such a competitive character. Sister Sun Jia, in fact, Mengyan is just a child with a temper. She hasn't grown up yet. Zhao Ying explained in a low voice. Regardless of whether she is a child with a temper or not, now it is time to solve this problem. It is even urgent. Sisters, we are also Yang Ming's women. We are also his lovers. What if Chen Mengyan doesn't accept us in the future? Sun Jia said very emotionally. This matter, she had actually premeditated. Chen Mengyan was Yang Ming's official girlfriend, but she wasn't the best candidate for the master of the harem. Chen Mengyan was a little narrow-minded and liked to be jealous. Although she had obviously changed a lot during this time, Chen Mengyan probably still couldn't accept so many people. In order to avoid the proliferation of contradictions in the future, Sun Jia must come up with a solution. Yang Ming would live in seclusion in Island X sooner or later, but at that time, would everyone follow him or not? Chen Mengyan definitely had to follow, but what about the others? The others couldn't continue to stay in Songjiang, right? If at a critical moment, the contradictions suddenly broke out without any preparation, it would be a mess. It was better to take advantage of the situation now. It hadn't reached the point where the contradiction was irreconcilable, and win over the women first. At least if Chen Mengyao made trouble at that time, they would be prepared. Although everyone felt that Sun Jia's words were a bit harsh, if they could be accepted by Yang Ming and be with him openly like Chen Mengyan, it was also everyone's wish. So at this moment, when Sun Jia raised the topic, no one would object. Everyone lowered their heads silently. People were always selfish. They could stand aloof from the world, but they also didn't want to be bullied. Sun Jia, if we talk about these topics, will it make Yang Ming embarrassed? Xiao Qing was more sensible and didn't want to add trouble to Yang Ming. No, I guess he knows that we are talking about this. He will be too happy. Sun Jia snorted. When it came to understanding Yang Ming's mind, Sun Jia still grasped it very accurately. We have solved this big trouble in his heart for him. He will definitely be very happy. Otherwise, he will have a headache. After listening to Sun Jia's words, Yang Ming, who was hiding under the stairs and using his special ability to peek at what they were saying, really wanted to applaud Sun Jia. This fox Sun is really cunning. She knows what I am thinking. Indeed, the problem of whether these women could get along well in the future was a problem in Yang Ming's heart. He had been thinking about how to solve this problem before, but because he had to go to Yunnan to perform a special dangerous mission recently, Yang Ming didn't care too much about the coordination of the relationship between the women around him. It was not certain whether he could come back or not. Why would he care so much? Of course, if he could come back safely, it wouldn't be too late to study other things. However, since Sun Jia could help him solve this big trouble first, then Yang Ming was also happy to see such a result. He just didn't know if Sun Jia wanted to coexist peacefully with Chen Mengyan, or if she wanted to usurp power and occupy the position of the master of the harem. So, Yang Ming widened his eyes and was ready to see what Sun Jia would say next. This is a problem. Xiao Qing nodded and looked at Zhou Jiejia. Jiejia, what do you think? I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't know what to do. Zhou Jiejia shook her head with a pale face. Sister Chen Mengyan is very good to me. I don't want to hurt her, but Sister Xiao Qing also takes care of me. I can't let her down. Zhou Jiejia was a bit embarrassed. She had a good relationship with Chen Mengyan, but her relationship with Xiao Qing was also very good. She couldn't choose one of them and go against the other. Jiejia, I don't want to make it difficult for you. Sun Jie smiled after listening to Zhou Jiejia's words. We are just preparing a countermeasure. You can rest assured that I won't fight with Chen Mengyan, and I don't want to be the master of the harem. I just want everyone to unite and protect the interests of our sisters. Chen Mengyan doesn't want to accept us. If we don't work hard, then who can help us? Chapter 1841. After listening to Sun Jie's words, Yang Ming breathed a sigh of relief. Yang Ming was most afraid that Sun Jie wanted to compete with Chen Mengyan for something, such as the position of the master of the harem, or the position of the official girlfriend. Yang Ming couldn't give these to her. Because these were all promised to Chen Mengyan, Yang Ming couldn't promise Sun Jie again. If Sun Jie really wanted to compete for these things, Yang Ming would only be more difficult to be caught in the middle. Even if he didn't agree and didn't participate, he would be very worried at the same time. After all, how could Chen Mengyan be Sun Jie's opponent? If Sun Jie wanted to compete for the position of the master of the harem, then Chen Mengyan could only give it up. But now Sun Jie didn't want to compete for these. She just wanted to maintain their status and interests. She wanted Chen Mengyan to accept them. If Chen Mengyan didn't accept them, then they would join forces and force Chen Mengyan to accept them. Although this was somewhat unfair to Chen Mengyan, if Yang Ming stopped Sun Jie from doing this, it would be unfair to Sun Jie, Xiao Qing, and even Zhao Ying who joined later. Both sides were unfair. Yang Ming could only pretend that he didn't know and didn't participate. As long as he didn't participate and didn't favor one side, then in the end, their conflict would be a conflict, and it wouldn't make any big trouble. However, once he favored one side, the consequences would be serious. If he favored Chen Mengyan, what about Sun Jie and Xiao Qing? If he favored Sun Jie, how could he help her to deal with Chen Mengyan? Women's matters should be solved by women. The most important thing was to not participate in it. Yang Ming sighed. Since Sun Jie was a woman who understood things, she shouldn't make it difficult for him. She knew how to make him worry less. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. He thought too much. Zhou Jiejia, who was in the room above, heard Sun Jie's words and sighed in relief. She nodded, as long as it's not against Sister Mengyan. If you just want to fight for everyone's interests and let Sister Mengyan accept you, then I will also support you. Zhou Jiejia's heart was actually very kind. She finally got together with Yang Ming. She also wanted others to be happy, so when she heard Sun Jie's words, she also expressed support. With Zhou Jiejia's support, Sun Jie was very happy. She didn't expect Xiao Qing to get Zhou Jiejia silently and let her stand on her own side, that, of course. Zhou Jiejia nodded with a red face. Hee, then since we have reached an alliance, let's discuss what we should do if Chen Mengyan doesn't accept us. Sun Jie said, let's brainstorm. Hearing this, Yang Ming didn't intend to listen anymore. As long as Sun Jie didn't take the initiative to go against Chen Mengyan and just wanted to protect their own interests, Yang Ming was relieved. As for what plans they had, Yang Ming didn't want to care. It was not good to know. It was better to give them some space. Fan Jinja first found a clinic to deal with the wounds on his face and body. He cursed Yang Ming's 18 generations of ancestors. After dealing with the wounds, he quickly drove to the Hai Mingyue resort in Donghai. Yang Ming, we can't do it openly. I will play dirty with you. See if I don't kill you and cripple you. Fan Jinja sneered and thought, aren't you with Zhao Ying? Okay, I will tell this to Chen Mengyan. Let's see how you are going to die. Wahahaha. Fan Jinja's mentality was very dark. He wanted to use Chen Mengyan to vent his anger for himself. As long as Chen Mengyan saw Yang Ming and Zhao Ying together, she would definitely make a big fuss with Yang Ming. At that time, Yang Ming would not be able to be with Zhao Ying, and he would have a chance. However, he must control the timing well. It would be best to let Chen Mengyan catch the adulterers when Zhao Ying and Yang Ming were alone in a room. This would be effective. Otherwise, If the two of them were only doing other things together, wouldn't his efforts be in vain if Yang Ming was better at defending himself? Therefore, Fan Jinja felt that he must hit the nail on the head. Fan Jinja drove into the Hai Mingyue Resort in Donghai, but he did not go to meet with the group first. Instead, he was going to look for Yang Ming's car in the resort. In his opinion, Yang Ming and Zhao Ying would definitely not live with the group. They would definitely live alone. Fan Jinja felt a little uncomfortable when he thought of them living alone in a room. Damn, the woman I like is actually with someone else? And they are even living together? However, Fan Jinja didn't care anymore. This era was not the past. He didn't care whether it was original or secondhand. It was fine as long as he could get Zhao Ying. He had an extremely perverted possessiveness in his heart. It was not so strong before, but now, Yang Ming instigated Brother Zhadong to beat him up. He had reached the point where he couldn't live without revenge. Fan Jinja drove around the Hai Mingyue Resort. He had already seen the school's buses, but there was no sign of Yang Ming's Audi A8 nearby. Where did this kid drive the car to? Fan Jinja was a little puzzled. He circled around the school bus and the dormitory building, but he still couldn't find any trace of Yang Ming's car. Could it be that he doesn't live in this building? Fan Jinja frowned and drove around the other buildings, but he still couldn't find Yang Ming's car. Could this guy have gone to live in a villa? Fan Jinja thought, Yang Ming seems to be quite rich, so it is possible for him to live in a villa. However, a villa is not easy to find. There are more than 30 independent villas here, and each of them is not close to each other. It would take at least 2 hours to go around. However, in order to take revenge on Yang Ming, Fan Jinja would not give up no matter how difficult it was. He drove around the resort and finally saw Yang Ming's Audi A8 at the door of an independent villa by the sea. Why is there an R8 and A6 here? Whose car is this? Fan Jinja frowned and suddenly slapped his forehead. He suddenly thought of someone. Could it be Sun Jie's? Could it be that Yang Ming wants to kill 2 birds with 1 stone? While Fan Jinja was envious, he was extremely jealous of Yang Ming in his heart. He also wanted to be in Yang Ming's position, but it was obviously impossible. It was already good enough to pursue Zhao Ying. Sun Jie shouldn't even think about it. That girl was a fox that ate people without spitting out the bones. He couldn't play with her. Chapter 1842. But this is also good. Who cares who Yang Ming is living with? As long as Chen Mengyan comes to catch him in the act, both Sun Jie and Zhao Ying can create big trouble for Yang Ming so that he won't have the heart to care about other things. Fan Jinja took out his mobile phone and took pictures of Yang Ming's car for a long time. In order to make Chen Mengyan believe him, he must leave some evidence. Otherwise, what if Chen Mengyan doesn't believe him and doesn't come to catch him in the act? After Fan Jinja finished all this, he quietly drove away in his car. He wanted to wait until night fell, then he would bring Chen Mengyan back and let Yang Ming die without a burial place. Yang Ming, this is what you get for offending me. You're dead meat. Fan Jinja's sinister laughter rang out, and he drove away. Yang Ming sat in the hall downstairs of the villa, watching TV in boredom. The TV here was a satellite channel with many movie channels. However, Yang Ming was not very interested in these. After watching for a while, he felt that it was boring, so he casually switched to the local channel. Jiangyan City's Jiangyan Group's chairman, Lu Jiangyan, was hospitalized with a sudden heart attack today. He is still in critical condition and is still in critical condition. The Jiangyan Group stock has fallen by the limit at the end of the day. A piece of news caught Yang Ming's attention. Jiangyan Group. Previously, Yang Ming had dealt with Jiangyan Group's Lu Huamei because of Jing Xiaolu's security company. However, the matter was resolved later. Sun Jie's strong appearance made the Ming Yang Escort Company's name resound again. The move of paying first also received the approval of the public. Therefore, the incident that time did not bring any practical losses except for losing a large amount of money. As for the person who stole the money, Yang Ming also found his body. It was just that the money was not found. He believed that the masterminds behind the scenes were Lu Jinan and Lu Jifei. However, Yang Ming was too busy for a while, so he didn't have time to deal with them for the time being. It seemed that before he left, he should settle this matter. Otherwise, these two guys would think that I am easy to bully and they would feel at ease after taking a large sum of money. However, Lu Jiangyan's father had a heart attack. If he was cured, there would be no problem. If he was not cured, then the Lu family and the Jiangyan group would be in chaos. While watching the news, footsteps came from the stairs. Yang Ming looked up and saw Sun Jie, Shao Qing, Zhao Ying, and Zhou Jiejie coming downstairs. Zhao Ying and Zhou Jiejie's faces were red. Obviously, Sun Jie and Shao Qing said something embarrassing, but. When Yang Ming asked, Zhao Ying and Zhou Jiejie's faces were even redder. They looked at each other and saw the shyness on each other's faces. Although the content that Sun Jie said before was something that would happen on every girl's wedding night, it was too embarrassing for Zhao Ying and Zhou Jiejie, who had never experienced it before. Although Zhao Ying was prepared, and with Sun Jie's words before, she had opened her heart and integrated into this big family headed by Sun Jie. She didn't care whether Chen Mengyan would accept her or not. With so many sisters accompanying her, what was there to be afraid of? Even if Chen Mengyan didn't accept it in the end, it didn't matter. She wasn't alone. She still had so many close sisters to solve her problems for her. Therefore, Zhao Ying's previous scruples were all gone. At this moment, she was waiting for a suitable opportunity in the evening to really be Yang Ming's bride. Before he left and before he went to perform the mission, he would have more responsibilities and more worries in his heart. In this way, he could protect himself more and know that at home, there was a woman who loved him waiting for him to return safely. Nothing. It's just a welcome to Zhao Ying, who has just joined the big family, and then popularize her with popular knowledge. Sun Jie smiled and said, "If you don't believe me, you can ask." Yang Ming naturally wouldn't expose Sun Jie. For what they had discussed before, Yang Ming also pretended not to know. Yang Ming knew these things in his heart, and there was no need to say it. So, Yang Ming pretended not to believe it. "Really, Sister Ying?" Zhao Ying nodded shyly. Although she didn't want to admit it, after all, this matter was too shameful. However, if she didn't admit it, Yang Ming would definitely ask what they said. Then, it was possible to expose the sister benefit unity plan that Sun Jie had mentioned before. When the time came, wouldn't it be betraying Sun Jie if Yang Ming knew about it? Therefore, Zhao Ying had no choice but to nod and admit it. It turned out to be like this. Yang Ming saw that Zhao Ying wasn't good at lying, but he didn't expose it. He just nodded. What did she say? "Well, Yang Ming, won't you know what I said tonight?" Sun Jie interrupted Yang Ming's question. She was afraid that Zhao Ying, this little girl, was too honest and revealed what she had said before, so she took over the conversation first. "We have unanimously voted to let Ying stay in the same room with you at night." Jiejie also agreed to this matter. Zhou Jiejie also nodded. Although she hadn't slept in the same bed with Yang Ming yet, she had already established a relationship with Yang Ming, so Zhou Jiejie wasn't in a hurry. Sooner or later, she would be Yang Ming's woman, and she would also live in Yang Ming's villa. What was there to be anxious about? This kind of once-in-a-lifetime opportunity was still given to Zhao Ying. After all, Zhao Ying and Yang Ming didn't live under the same roof, and it was usually difficult to see each other. If she missed the opportunity of this spring outing, she didn't know when the two of them would meet again. Zhao Ying's heart was also at ease if the relationship between the two of them was confirmed as soon as possible. Therefore, when everyone was thinking about Zhao Ying was so moved that she wanted to cry. This was the kind of big family that she wanted. Everyone cared about each other and cared for each other. She didn't have to worry about being schemed against and envied all day long. If Meng Yan could put aside her own face and narrow-mindedness and integrate into it, how good would that be? Zhao Ying also knew that Yang Ming was developing an entertainment business in Island X at the moment. She also knew that Yang Ming's final goal was to live in seclusion on Island X, so everyone's harmony was quite important. Yang Ming, you accompany Zhao Ying to go out and walk around. She still has to go to the graduate school to register. No matter what, she has to show up properly in school activities. Otherwise, people will talk about it. Xiao Qing said to Yang Ming, we have prepared some food in the villa. You can come back and eat at night. Let's go out and walk around. Yang Ming also wanted to walk around this scenic resort with Zhao Ying. Chapter 1843. The relationship between Zhao Ying and Yang Ming was intermittent. But now, Zhao Ying completely opened her heart and prepared to be with Yang Ming without hesitation. This had never happened before. Therefore, Yang Ming was also looking forward to going out with Zhao Ying. This was also the first real date between the two people. Yang Ming could see that Zhao Ying's mind was more determined than before, and she was more determined. Previously, Zhao Ying was still a little impulsive. After that, she returned to her hesitant temperament. But just now, after Sun Jia clearly welcomed Zhao Ying to join their big family, Zhao Ying became firm and determined. Zhao Ying nodded shyly. Like a little girl, she lowered her head and held the corner of her clothes tightly. She didn't dare to look at Yang Ming. He. Yang Ming smiled, took Zhao Ying's hand, and went out of the villa with her. Who? Looking at the backs of Yang Ming and Zhao Ying leaving, Sun Jia breathed a sigh of relief. These two people were really bumpy. They only came together now. Jia, do you have any thoughts? Sun Jia, as the big sister of several girls, naturally had to care about everyone's thoughts. No, I just think that Sister Ying must be very happy now, just like when I was lying in the arms of Yang Ming. Every time I think about it, I feel that I am the happiest person in the world. Zhou Jia said with some emotion, I hope that Sister Ying will be happy. I also hope that Sister Meng Yan can be more tolerant of her, but Jia, our matter, it's better not to tell Chen Meng Yan now. Even if we meet in the future, we need an opportunity, a suitable opportunity. This will be good for both of us. For this kind of thing, it's better late than early. Our previous plan was just to make preparations to prevent unexpected events so that we wouldn't be caught off guard. I know. You can rest assured, Sister Sun Jia. I won't say it. I also know that if I say it now, Sister Meng Yan may not be able to accept it. Zhou Jia sighed. But our thoughts are the same. We all want to be together with Yang Ming. Of course, I understand. That's good. Right, I forgot to remind Yang Ming. He must be careful. Don't bump into Chen Mengyan. Otherwise, he would be in trouble. It's his first date, and he was caught red-handed. Zhao Ying, this girl, shouldn't be scared out of her mind. Sun Jia suddenly thought of this very serious problem. No, Yang Ming is very careful and alert. He won't be so stupid to be seen by Chen Mengyan. Xiao Qing believed in Yang Ming. She had confidence in Yang Ming's skill and alertness. I hope that he won't be blinded by love, or else there will be a family tragedy. Sun Jia nodded and smiled. Yang Ming and Zhao Ying went out of the villa. Yang Ming glanced at the car. Are we driving or taking a walk? Let's take a walk. I also want to take a walk. It's boring to drive. Zhao Ying said, you first accompany me to report to the graduate student and inform the supervisor. Then, we will go to the beach for a walk. How about that? Okay, let's go. Yang Ming smiled and held Zhao Ying's hand. Zhao Ying had been held by Yang Ming before, but at this moment, her mentality was different. This was their first date. Zhao Ying still trembled. Her palms were instantly full of sweat. She was a little nervous. Yang Ming. Do you think we will bump into Chen Mengyan? That would be so embarrassing. Moreover, it is easy to expose Sister Sun Jia and the others. Zhao Ying asked a little worriedly. It's okay. It shouldn't be so coincidental, right? At this time, Meng Yan and Jiyun should be doing activities in the place where they live. Meng Yan is a student union cadre. She won't just go out and walk around, right? Yang Ming comforted Zhao Ying. Zhao Ying listened to Yang Ming's comfort. She was relieved and nodded. That's good. I was really worried that Chen Mengyan would bump into us. Last time at the temple fair, I was scared. Fortunately, I explained it clearly later. But this time, if I bump into her again, then I can't explain it clearly. Hee, how can there be such a coincidence? Yang Ming smiled and shook his head. Hand in hand with Yang Ming, they came all the way to the residence of the graduate students. There weren't many people in the resort village at this time. There were only a few scattered waves of tourists, and they were all unfamiliar people. This made Zhao Ying feel a lot more at ease. In front of the residence of the graduate students, Zhao Ying broke away from Yang Ming's hand. We can't do it now. We have to be careful. Even if we aren't seen by Chen Mengyan, it won't be good if others see us. You wait for me here. I will go up and register and come down. That's fine. Then you go. I will wait for you here. Yang Ming also felt that it was inappropriate to accompany Zhao Ying up at this moment. Although graduate students didn't pay much attention to the school's art festival activities, it was hard to guarantee that someone would recognize them. It wouldn't be good if it caused unnecessary trouble. So, after Yang Ming let Zhao Ying go up, he stood next to the bus downstairs and waited for Zhao Ying. Zhao Ying was very quick. After greeting the tutor, she signed her name, indicating that she was going for a solo activity, and left. However, in a corner, an extremely resentful and fanatical gaze was staring at Zhao Ying. This person was Fan Jinja. You wait. In a while, I will tell Chen Mengyan where you and Yang Ming were having an affair. Let's see how you will die. Fan Jinja thought fiercely. His face was full of bruises, but he couldn't explain it to his classmates. He could only say that he accidentally got into a car accident and was bruised. Fortunately, after others heard about it, they didn't ask much. After all, there weren't many people who could distinguish between bruises and injuries. This didn't make Fan Jinja too embarrassed. Zhao Ying missed Yang Ming in her heart. Today was her first date with Yang Ming, so Zhao Ying didn't want to waste time. Like a little woman who fell in love, she quickly ran downstairs and wanted to be with Yang Ming. When she came downstairs and was about to run to Yang Ming's side, something happened. It was because Yang Ming suddenly saw that not far behind Zhao Ying, Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun were walking quickly toward the graduate student dormitory. Chen Mengyan obviously saw Zhao Ying's figure. She even waved at her and shouted Zhao Ying's name. However, Zhao Ying only had Yang Ming in her heart now. She didn't hear Chen Mengyan calling her at all. She still ran quickly toward Yang Ming. Yang Ming was shocked. He didn't think that such a thrilling situation would happen, but life was full of accidents. The more he didn't want to happen, the more it still happened. Yang Ming wanted to say something to stop Zhao Ying from running over, but he couldn't. If he spoke, Chen Mengyan would definitely hear it. At that time, not only would Zhao Ying be exposed, but he would also be exposed. Chapter 1844. Therefore, Yang Ming could clearly remind Zhao Ying, but he couldn't. Chen Mengyan called Zhao Ying again, but Zhao Ying still didn't hear it. She still ran to Yang Ming with a happy face. Yang Ming's mind turned quickly. He couldn't turn around and run away. If he ran away, Zhao Ying would definitely call his name. Then, Chen Mengyan would be even worse after she heard it. Yang Ming glanced at the bottom of the bus next to him and finally made up his mind. In order not to cause Zhao Ying's abnormal behavior, Yang Ming could only pretend to welcome and wait for Zhao Ying to come over. He would let Zhao Ying come over first. Sure enough, Zhao Ying didn't find anything strange and walked over. But at the moment when Zhao Ying came over, Yang Ming suddenly hugged Zhao Ying's neck and pulled her to the ground with him. Then, they rolled under the bus together. Zhao Ying was shocked. She looked at Yang Ming in disbelief. She didn't know what happened to Yang Ming. Why did he suddenly take her to get under the bus? She just wanted to scream and ask, but she felt that her lips were sealed. Yang Ming realized that Zhao Ying wanted to scream. In a hurry, he quickly sealed Zhao Ying's mouth with his mouth. Oh. Zhao Ying didn't expect Yang Ming to be so bold. He actually pulled her under the bus to kiss her. Zhao Ying widened her eyes. Her beautiful eyes were full of shyness and joy. Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun came to the postgraduate student dormitory to study the social activities. Chen Mengyan, as a cadre of the student union, naturally had to shoulder this responsibility. However, at the entrance of the postgraduate student dormitory, Chen Mengyan suddenly saw Zhao Ying coming out of the building. She was a little happy. She wanted to call Zhao Ying to participate in her activities, but after calling her twice, she found that Zhao Ying didn't hear her. She hurriedly ran between the two buses. Sister Ying didn't hear it? Chen Mengyan had some doubts. Maybe it's because the wind is strong at night and Sister Ying has something to do, so she didn't hear it. Lin Jiyun shook her head. Let's go and see. Chen Mengyan took Lin Jiyun to the space between the two buses, but she didn't see Zhao Ying's figure. She couldn't help but wonder, where's Sister Ying? I just saw her coming over. Is it? Lin Jiyun's eyes swept across the bottom of the bus next to her and saw Zhao Ying's skirt. She hesitated and kicked Zhao Ying's skirt under the bus. Then, she said, maybe she went far. Maybe she has something urgent. Zhao Ying was scared out of her wits under the bus. When she heard Chen Mengyan's voice, she grabbed Yang Ming's hand with her hand. She no longer cared about Yang Ming kissing her. Yang Ming could feel Zhao Ying's nervousness. He gently hugged her body and patted her back twice, indicating that she shouldn't be afraid. Suddenly, Zhao Ying's whole body trembled. Because she suddenly felt that someone was kicking her. At this moment, Zhao Ying's heart was about to explode. Could it be that Chen Mengyan found me? However, Yang Ming saw it very clearly. The person who kicked Zhao Ying was Lin Jiyun. It was her shoe that kicked over. Yang Ming smiled slightly. This little girl must have found some clues, but she didn't say anything. Instead, she explained for Zhao Ying, perhaps, Sister Lin should have noticed something, but she was afraid that Chen Mengyan would be angry, so she didn't say anything. Yang Ming patted Zhao Ying twice, indicating that she shouldn't be afraid. There would be no problem. It's also possible. Forget it. Let's go to the person in charge of the graduate student department. Let's study the social event. Although Chen Mengyan didn't see Zhao Ying, she didn't delve into it because she had business to do. The voices of the two gradually faded away. Apparently, they had entered the teaching building. Yang Ming was ready to move his mouth away from Zhao Ying's lips, but Zhao Ying seemed to be in love. In this case, there was a different kind of excitement. Zhao Ying hugged Yang Ming tightly, and her breathing was rapid. In fact, it wasn't the first time that they kissed. At the temple fair, they had already had an accidental kiss. This was the second time. Zhao Ying's heart was very nervous and excited. In the previous accidental kiss, there was no special relationship between the two, but now Zhao Ying had opened her heart completely. There was no scruples at all, so she became bold. This made Yang Ming not expect that in this environment and situation, Zhao Ying could still be so bold. After a long time, the two separated. Zhao Ying's face was red. She seemed to be shy about her previous behavior. Sister Ying, let's go quickly. After a while, when Meng Yan comes out, we can't run away. Although Yang Ming also liked the feeling of two people lying under the car, if Chen Mengyan came out in a while, it wouldn't be fun. Yeah. Zhao Ying just remembered that there was still Chen Mengyan's matter. She was a little embarrassed. Then, let's go quickly. Sorry, I was a little emotional just now. Hee hee, it's nothing. I can't wait to be happy. Yang Ming smiled and held Zhao Ying out from under the bus. Right, who was the one who kicked me just now? Have they discovered us? Zhao Ying suddenly remembered that someone had kicked her skirt and asked quickly. It's Lin Jian. It's okay. She won't say anything. Yang Ming knew Lin Jian's temperament very well. He knew that she wouldn't complain to Chen Mengyan. Who, that's good. I was scared to death. It was really thrilling. Zhao Ying patted her chest. Let's hurry back to the villa. Don't let Chen Mengyan see us again. Originally, the plan of two people taking a walk could only be cancelled at this moment. Zhao Ying was frightened. How would she dare to go for a walk? It wasn't a joke to be discovered by Chen Mengyan. Aren't we going to the beach? Yang Ming felt a little regretful. The first real date between the two people ended so hastily. I'm not going. Let's talk about it again in the future. I'm definitely not going today. Zhao Ying shook her head firmly. That's fine too. Yang Ming knew that Zhao Ying was frightened. If they went for a walk again, not only would it not make her happy, but she would also be worried. In that case, it was better not to go for a walk. Yang Ming took Zhao Ying and quickly left the graduate building. When they walked to the seaside villa, Yang Ming's phone rang. He picked it up and looked at it. It was a text message from Lin Jian. Are you and Sister Ying hiding under the bus? Let's go quickly. Sister Mengyan and I are going downstairs soon. Heh. Yang Ming looked at the text message and smiled slightly. It was Lin Jian who kicked you, but she also sent a text message to tell us to leave quickly. Chapter 1845. Sister Lin's heart is so kind. Zhao Ying was a little moved. It seemed that she was also a tolerant person. Yang Ming broke into a sweat. It seemed that Zhou Jiejia was neutral, and Lin Jian was neutral. Wouldn't Chen Mengyan be alone? If she really had a conflict with Sun Jia, then she would be at a great disadvantage. Back in the villa, Sun Jia was preparing dinner with Xiao Qing and Zhou Jiejia. Sun Jia called the kitchen to send the ingredients in batches. Some of the fresh ingredients that were not prepared had been sent to purchase. Now the Sea Moon Resort had been completely handed over to Tian Donghua to manage. Sun Jia, the behind-the-scenes big boss, was also a hands-off shopkeeper. Why are you back so soon? Seeing Yang Ming and Zhao Ying coming into the house, Sun Jia felt a little strange. These two people just went out for less than half an hour. How come they came back? Zhao Ying's face was red. She didn't know how to explain it. This matter was a bit awkward. If she said it out loud, Sun Jia and Xiao Qing would laugh at her. Don't mention it. When we just arrived at the graduate students' accommodation, we met Meng Yan and Sister Lin. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. Sister Ying was scared to death. Then, were you discovered by them? Sun Jia was also a little surprised. She didn't expect Yang Ming and Zhao Ying to be so unlucky. They met Chen Mengyan on their first date. No, fortunately, Yang Ming discovered it in time and pulled me under a bus. Zhao Ying patted her chest with lingering fear. But almost. If Lin Jian didn't kick my skirt, my exposed skirt would have been discovered by Chen Mengyan. That was really a surprising moment. How was it? Was it exciting? Sun Jia was very interested in this. I heard that it is very exciting to have an affair in this situation. Did you do it? Of course, we didn't. How would Zhao Ying admit it? She shook her head and denied it directly. In that situation, you would be scared to death. Why would you have an affair? Hee hee, if you didn't have an affair, why are you so excited? Sun Jia smiled and didn't expose Zhao Ying. She knew that Zhao Ying cared a lot about her reputation and was embarrassed. No. I wasn't excited. Zhao Ying quickly waved her hand. I was scared, ding dong. At this moment, the villa's doorbell suddenly rang. Ah? Who is it? Zhao was shocked and her hand in a hurry. Yang Ming looked outside the door and saw a young man in his teens holding a big fat fish and pressing the doorbell. Seeing this scene, Yang Ming smiled slightly. Little Jia, I'm here to deliver the fish. Did you order the fish? And Ching Ching said that she would make fish soup for you, but there was no fresh fish in the resort. I asked Tian Donghua to send a child to catch a fish. Sun Jia said and went to open the door. For Yang Ming's special ability, although Shao Qing was the only one who knew the specifics, Sun Jia and Zhou Jiejia also knew about it. However, they had a tacit understanding with each other, so it was not surprising that Yang Ming could know in advance that it was a fish delivery. Sun Jia opened the door, and the boy and his teens moved the fish in. He looked a little shy. Sister Sun, where do you think I should put it? It's little Sun. Sun Jia obviously knew the child and called out to Yang Ming. Yang Ming, come and help. Yang Ming originally wanted to take the fish, but when the child saw Yang Ming coming over, he was suddenly a little excited. Peng, he threw the big fat fish in his hand on the floor and stared at Yang Ming. You are Yang Ming, brother Yang? The poor big fat fish had just come out of the water not long ago, so it was not dead yet. It was thrown on the floor and jumped back and forth in pain. However, the child did not care so much and looked at Yang Ming very excitedly. I am, and you are? Yang Ming looked at the child in front of him strangely. I'm Li Yixuan. Brother Yang, you don't know me, but I'm Tian Dongguang's classmate. I heard him talk about you. He really admires you and often tells me about you. He wants to be your disciple, so I'm going to be yours too. Li Yixuan said excitedly. Yang Ming was speechless. He then remembered that Tian Donghua had a younger brother called Tian Dongguang, who was a martial arts fanatic. Don't listen to his nonsense. Who are you going to be his disciple? He's a martial arts fanatic. Don't learn from him. I don't want to learn martial arts. I just admire the things you did. Especially when I heard from Brother Donghua that you saved Sister Sun's family and even caught Brother Donghua's father. That's so awesome. You're like a legendary figure. Li Yixuan continued to chatter. I'm working for Brother Donghua now. He often tells me about your deeds. We're all your fans. Since you're working for Donghua, then do your job well. You'll be successful in the future too. Yang Ming was speechless as he patted Li Yixuan's shoulder. You're not going to school? Why are you helping out here? My family is poor, so I'm not going to school anymore. Dongguang introduced me here to help out, but Brother Donghua is pretty nice to me. Li Yixuan was very satisfied with his current situation. Li Yixuan picked up the fish on the floor a little embarrassedly and handed it to Yang Ming. Yang Ming took the fish and carried it into the kitchen. Li Yixuan had already turned to leave. Yang Ming couldn't help but shake his head. This kid was pretty interesting. Yang Ming remembered that Chen Mingyan's deskmate was called something like Sun Lai. He couldn't remember if it was Li Yixuan, but there were too many people with the same name in this world. It wasn't rare for them to have the same name. Sun Jia and Shao Qing went to the kitchen to prepare dinner. Zhou Jiejia and Zhao Ying also went to help. Yang Ming, on the other hand, didn't have anything to do, so he went to little Wang's room. Without Yang Ming's orders, little Wang didn't dare to come out of his room. He didn't dare to say anything either. When he heard Yang Ming knock, he quickly opened the door for him. Brother Yang, you're here. He was still holding his phone. Shao ran, I'll talk later. Brother Yang's here. With that, he hung up. Clearly, he had been chatting with his girlfriend the whole time. Chatting with your girlfriend? Yang Ming didn't expect little Wang to be chatting, so he didn't want to disturb him. There's nothing to do. I'm just calling. There's nothing important. I'm just talking about some trivial things. Little Wang waved his hand indifferently. Brother Yang, are you looking for me? I don't have anything to do. Yang Ming lowered his voice. You should pay more attention when you are guarding the door at night. See if your sister-in-law Meng Yan is looking for me. If she is looking for me, you should use your phone to text me. Chapter 1846. Okay, Brother Yang, no problem. Little Wang was slightly stunned and nodded quickly. Yang Ming smiled helplessly. If Qin Mengyan didn't doubt it, it would be better. If she was suspicious and came to the door, it would be a bit bad. Little Wang obviously understood Yang Ming's difficulties, but he said with envy, Brother Yang, you don't have to worry too much. I am a little envious of you. However, I have little Ran, which is enough. Soon, Sun Jia, Shao Qing, and Zhou Jiejia prepared dinner and called Yang Ming out to eat. Yang Ming brought Little Wang out. Little Wang was afraid that he would be a third wheel, so he wouldn't eat at the same table as Yang Ming. No matter how Yang Ming persuaded him, he shook his head and refused. In the end, Yang Ming couldn't be helped. He could only ask Zhou Jiejia to separate the dishes on the table for Little Wang so that he could go back to the room to eat. Yang Ming, what do you think of today's meal? Can you guess who made each dish? When Little Wang returned to the room, Sun Jia came over and asked with a smile. Ugh. Yang Ming looked at the table full of steaming and fragrant delicacies. He couldn't help but drool. He really couldn't guess who made the dishes. Although Yang Ming had X-ray vision that could see through everything in the world, the dishes didn't have names. Yang Ming couldn't determine who made each dish even if he had X-ray vision. I guess, this fish soup was made by Qing Qing, right? Yang Ming shamelessly picked up the spoon and tasted the fish soup on the table. It was indeed made by Qing Qing. Sun Jia nodded and said after taking a deep breath, but it doesn't count. Because I have told you before that Qing Qing wanted to make fish soup for you. How can this be counted as you guessed it? Guess again. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. He didn't expect to be seen through by Sun Jia. He tasted the eggplant with garlic sauce on the table again. Although Yang Ming lowered his head and didn't look at the expressions of the women, he secretly paid attention to the expressions of the women with his special ability. When Yang Ming ate the eggplant with garlic sauce, Yang Ming noticed that Zhou Jiejia's expression changed slightly. She was a little expectant and a little nervous. Yang Ming smiled slightly. It seems that this dish was undoubtedly made by Zhou Jiejia. So, Yang Ming looked up and said with a smile, this eggplant with garlic sauce is really delicious, but who made it? Let me guess. Then you guess. See if you can guess it. Sun Jia didn't believe that Yang Ming could guess it, so she asked with a smile. I guess you definitely didn't do it. Yang Ming looked at Sun Jia and said. What kind of guess is this? Sun Jia said with some disdain, if you have the ability, guess who made it. Don't use the method of elimination. I'm not afraid to tell you that I really didn't make it. Well, then I will say it. Yang Ming ate the sweet potato ball while secretly observing everyone's expressions. Why isn't anyone looking forward to it? Could it be that the sweet potato ball wasn't made by them, but was bought from the restaurant? That was impossible. Yang Ming frowned slightly and suddenly thought of a possibility. That was that Sun Jia might have noticed his trick, and this little vixen deliberately put on a straight face and pretended that it had nothing to do with her in order to not let him notice any clues. If that was the case, then this sweet potato ball was made by her? Yang Ming nodded secretly. It seemed that his guess was very likely. Yang Ming smiled slightly and gave a thumbs up. Not bad, not bad. This sweet potato ball is no different from the ones in the big restaurants. I think it was made by little Jia, right? Chapter 1847. Sun Jia was really speechless. How could he guess it like that? Yang Ming guessed it right. This sweet potato ball was really her masterpiece, but how did Yang Ming know? How did you know? Sun Jia widened her eyes and looked at Yang Ming inconceivably. Hee, of course, it was a guess. Yang Ming shrugged. Intuition? Sun Jia frowned. She didn't seem to believe Yang Ming's words, but it was no wonder. If Yang Ming guessed 1 or 2 dishes, it was possible. Even a blind cat could encounter a dead mouse, but he guessed 4 dishes in a row, which made Sun Jia suspicious. Even if Yang Ming guessed 1 or 2, there was no reason to guess 3 or 4, right? I don't believe it. Sun Jia shook her head firmly. You wait a minute. Go away first. I have something to say to the sisters. Really, why are you talking so much when you are eating? Yang Ming shrugged. Let you guess. It's us who like you. If it were other men, they would be too lazy to play this kind of game with him. Sun Jia snorted. Okay. Then you say it. Yang Ming said helplessly, then it's a deal. Guess the last dish. Otherwise, I can only look but can't eat. I might as well go back to sleep. Alright, then the last one. Can't we agree on it? Sun Jia nodded. That's fine. Yang Ming turned and walked away. He went to a place far away from the restaurant and sat down, waiting for the girls to discuss before going back. Sisters, did you find anything suspicious? Sun Jia had become the big sister of everyone. Yang Ming is a human, not a god. How can he repeatedly guess who made these dishes? If I remember correctly, Yang Ming should be in little Wang's room when we were busy cooking, right? Yeah, I also think it's a bit strange. Zhou Jiejia nodded and agreed. If it was just Sister Xiao Qing's fish soup, it is possible for him to guess correctly because Sister Qing said before that she would make fish soup. But the others? So, I think there is a problem. Sun Jia nodded. You may not have noticed it, but I noticed it. When Yang Ming tasted the dish, who made the dish, your faces showed a look of anticipation and nervousness. I guess this was seen by Yang Ming, so he guessed it so accurately. Sister Sun Jia, what you said is possible. Zhao Ying nodded. Maybe he noticed. Did you also show a nervous and expectant look? Xiao Qing asked with some doubts. I didn't. Sun Jia shook her head. However, I think it is because I didn't, so Yang Ming will doubt me and guess that this sweet potato ball was made by me. Oh. Xiao Qing was slightly stunned, and then she guessed something, so she said, You mean, Yang Ming thinks that you are deliberately pretending to be indifferent because Zhao Ying, Jiejia, and I didn't show anything, but you are the most suspicious? Yes, that's it. Sun Jia nodded. I also guessed so. So, I am going to test it again. In a while, I will let Yang Ming taste another dish, and we have to pretend to be indifferent. Don't be nervous, and don't expect it. Let's see what he says this time. Okay, then it's decided. The girls nodded in agreement because they were also wondering how Yang Ming guessed it. Yang Ming, you can come over. Sun Jia shouted to Yang Ming. Oh, I'm coming. Yang Ming stretched on the sofa, then stood up lazily and walked to the restaurant. Although Yang Ming was far away from the conversation between Sun Jia and the girls, he saw it clearly. Yang Ming laughed in his heart. Sun Jia, haven't you heard of a saying? Even the cunning fox can't escape the hunter's eyes. Yang Ming, you come and taste another dish. If you guess correctly, we will let you eat. Sun Jia said with a smile. It's just eating. That's not interesting. Yang Ming shook his head. I don't want to eat anymore because of you. I'm not hungry anymore. If you agree to some other conditions, I can consider making another guess. This. Yang Ming. Sun Jia put her boobs on Yang Ming's body. Good person, just guess again. At most, I will do whatever you want. We will do whatever you want. Yang Ming knew that Sun Jie's method of seducing people was first class, but he still couldn't resist the temptation. That's what you said. You can do whatever I want? Of course, if you don't believe me, you can ask Qing Qing. Sun Jie gave Shao Qing a look. Although Shao Qing didn't want to accompany Sun Jie, she didn't believe that Yang Ming could guess who made the other dishes without warning, so she could only nod with a smile. Shao Jie's meaning is my meaning, all right then. Yang Ming nodded. Let's guess again. As Yang Ming said, he picked up the chopsticks and put it on a fried tofu. This was a very ordinary home-cooked dish, but it wasn't very easy to cook. If the tofu was fried too long, it would be burnt. If the time was too short, there would be too much water, and it wouldn't be delicious. The sauce behind the fried tofu was also a problem. First, it was the taste of the soup. Secondly, it couldn't be cooked too long. If it was too long, the tofu would be soft. If it was too short, it wouldn't be tasty, so Yang Ming picked such a dish that was more difficult to cook and put it into his mouth. After listening to Sun Jie's words this time, the women all showed an indifferent expression. They didn't look at Yang Ming. Yang Ming had already seen through the tricks of the women, so he didn't care. He already had a countermeasure in his heart. Suddenly, Yang Ming frowned, and his face suddenly became ugly. He picked up the drink on the table and took a sip. This tofu, how is this tofu? Zhou Jiejia was shocked. She looked at Yang Ming and was a little overwhelmed. This fried tofu was made by herself, but she tasted it deliberately after making it. It was quite delicious. Why did Yang Ming have such an expression after eating it? It seems that it is too salty. Could it be that the salt didn't melt? When Sun Jie saw Zhou Jiejia's expression, she knew that it wasn't good. She finally understood Yang Ming's trick. Never mind Zhou Jiejia, even she was almost fooled. Chapter 1848. This pan-fried tofu was cooked by Zhou Jiejia. If Yang Ming felt that it wasn't delicious, her expression would definitely change. When the expression changed, Yang Ming would definitely guess that this pan-fried tofu was actually made by Zhou Jiejia. Now, there was no need to guess. Yang Ming probably already knew. AI. Sun Jie sighed. Zhou Jiejia was still inexperienced in society. She was fooled by Yang Ming. But thinking about it carefully, Zhou Jiejia couldn't be blamed. Yang Ming was too cunning. This tofu. Why is this tofu so delicious? Yang Ming finished his drink and gasped. The women were speechless. Why do you have such an expression when it's delicious? Why do you look like you ate too much salt? Zhou Jiejia also looked at Yang Ming with a bitter smile. She was scared to death just now. Jiejia, your tofu is too delicious. I want to eat it next time. After Yang Ming finished speaking, he looked at Zhou Jiejia and said with a smile. Zhou Jiejia's face turned red. Yang Ming's words were too ambiguous. What did he mean by, your tofu? How could this not make people's imagination run wild? Well, Yang Ming, you eat quickly. Consider that we lost to you. In a while, you can do whatever you want. However, you have to get Yingying's consent. Because we unanimously decided that you are Yingying's tonight. Sun Jie said. Yang Ming was speechless. Why am I like a commodity that can be sent back and forth? Tonight is Yingying's. Sometimes, Yang Ming found that having more women wasn't a good thing. Having more delicious food wasn't a good thing either. The two great joys of life, beautiful women and delicious food, were now in front of him. Yang Ming wanted to cry but had no tears. Every beauty kept putting their own best dishes into Yang Ming's bowl. After eating this, Yang Ming couldn't not eat that. However, everyone kept putting food into his bowl. In the end, Yang Ming really couldn't eat anymore. His eyes rolled up and he kept waving his hand. No, I don't want to eat anymore. If I eat more, I will explode. Ha. When the women saw Yang Ming's appearance, they couldn't help but laugh. As the women said, tonight, Yang Ming belonged to Zhao Ying. Zhao Ying also belonged to Yang Ming. Zhao Ying, who had no scruples in her heart, at this moment, she was still sitting on the bed in the room. She didn't dare to look at Yang Ming. She opened her heart, but it didn't mean that she wasn't shy. After all, the love between her and Yang Ming was very bumpy. If you really wanted to calculate, in fact, there was no love process. There was no true love between the wild female teacher on the internet and the world. It couldn't be considered a love relationship at all. The previous tutoring nights, that moonlit night, could only be regarded as the budding of love. It ended before it started. Therefore, Zhao Ying's heart was pounding. I'm living with him like this. Isn't it progressing too fast? However, thinking that Yang Ming was about to go to Yunnan to perform the dangerous mission, Zhao Ying was determined again. If she couldn't make up her mind now, then she didn't know how long it would take for Yang Ming to come back. So, Zhao Ying gritted her teeth, stood up, and whispered to Yang Ming, I am going to take a shower, don't be in such a hurry. Let's talk first. Yang Ming guessed Zhao Ying's mind, but since the two people had accepted each other, the procedure wasn't so important. As long as the two people's hearts were tightly connected, it was fine. Zhao Ying nodded and sat down again. Yang Ming, why don't you tell me about you, Sister Sun Jia, Sister Xiaoqing, and Sister Jejia? Tell me about how you guys got together. I'm a little curious. Previously, Zhao Ying also asked Sun Jia, but Sun Jia naturally wouldn't say it in detail. She just said it in a very general manner. Zhao Ying still wanted to hear the process, but Sun Jia didn't say it. Therefore, Zhao Ying was very curious and wanted to know the details. Then let's start with Sun Jia. Yang Ming nodded. In fact, the process of me and Sun Jia being together was very magical. When I first met little Jia, it was at my cousin, Yang Li's house. Little Jia was her friend. At that time, I was still a young boy who had just graduated from high school. I was still a little shy. So, Sun Jia teased me. Yang Ming talked about how Sun Jia teased him and how she made fun of him. He said that he went to the hotel to pretend to be Sun Jia's boyfriend, but they had an intimate relationship due to a strange combination of circumstances. It wasn't until later that he and Sun Jia maintained a relationship that went beyond friendship. It wasn't until he helped her family solve a big problem that Sun Jia completely opened her heart. It turns out that you and Sister Sun Jia have such a bumpy relationship. Zhao Ying was very surprised. It seems that I'm not the only one who has a story with Yang Ming. What about Sister Xiaoqing? Zhao Ying listened to Sun Jia's story and wanted to hear Xiaoqing's story. If you want to talk about me and Qing, it's actually a strange combination of circumstances. It started from the auction after I recognized Lu Weishan as my godfather. Yang Ming told Zhao Ying about going to the auction and the story between him and Xiaoqing. I have heard some of Jejia's story. She took a bullet for you. As Zhao Ying said this, she suddenly sighed. I thought that the relationship between me and you was already very bumpy. It seems that Zhou Jejia is even more bumpy, but now it's good. We are all together. It will be better in the future. Yang Ming comforted Zhao Ying. I hope so. Zhao Ying nodded. I only know that Zhou Jejia took a bullet for you, but I'm not very clear about the things before that. Can you tell me? Of course. Yang Ming nodded. Zhou Jejia and I were junior high school classmates. However, this also started from my other girlfriend, who was also my first love, the big star Shuya. What? The big star Shuya? Zhao Ying was stunned. You mean, your first love was Shuya? You don't know? After Yang Ming asked, he suddenly remembered that he didn't tell Zhao Ying about this. Shuya's real name is Suya. She was my first love, Yang Ming, are you serious? The big star was your first love? Zhao Ying was surprised and opened her mouth wide. Hee, when you were in school, didn't you often ask me why my grades in junior high school were good, but my grades in senior high school were bad? Yang Ming smiled and said, among them, it involved such a story like a love triangle. Yang Ming wanted to tell Zhao Ying about the grievances between him, Zhou Jiejia, and Shuya, but the phone suddenly rang. Yang Ming took it out and glanced at the caller ID. It was actually Lin Jiyun. Chapter 1849. After Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun finished discussing tomorrow's social event with the professors and representatives in the graduate students' dormitory building, it was already past 10 o'clock in the evening. Many graduate students had already returned to their rooms to have fun. There were basically not many people in the lobby on the first floor. Some of them sat together and chatted in twos and threes. As for Fan Jinja, he sat in a corner. He was waiting for Chen Mengyan to appear. It was just past 10 o'clock. Yang Ming, that brat, should be preparing to go to bed. At that time, I will bring Chen Mengyan to catch the adulterers. Let's see how Yang Ming dies. Fan Jinja had been paying attention to the elevator exit. With a ding, the elevator door opened. Fan Jinja subconsciously raised his head and looked at the elevator entrance. He had looked at the elevator entrance many times this evening. Every time the elevator door opened, he would look up. But every time, he was disappointed because Chen Mengyan had not come downstairs yet. What is this woman doing up there? Could it be that she is playing with some handsome guy? Fan Jinja speculated maliciously. If I can play with Chen Mengyan, I can also relieve the hatred in my heart. However, Yang Ming will probably kill me afterward. Forget it after thinking about it. I will just create some trouble for him first. Fan Jinja's eyes lit up because he saw Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun walking out of the elevator hand in hand. Fan Jinja quickly stood up and walked over to Chen Mengyan. Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun thought that Fan Jinja was going to get into the elevator, so they did not care. However, Fan Jinja stopped in front of them. You, what are you doing? Chen Mengyan was stunned. She did not expect this person to suddenly stop her, so she frowned and asked in confusion. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Fan Jinja. I am a graduate student in the economics department. Fan Jinja introduced himself politely. What's the matter? Chen Mengyan looked at the polite Fan Jinja with some disgust. This guy's face is full of injuries, as if he had just been beaten up. Yet, he still pretends to be a gentleman in front of me. Is he a suitor? Of course there is something. Fan Jinja nodded and said, Can I have a word with you? If you have anything to say it here. I don't have much time. I have to go back. Chen Mengyan felt that this person was probably an annoying suitor. Why couldn't he say something here? Why did he have to go somewhere else? As the saying goes, don't air your dirty linen in public. If Miss Chen Mengyan wants me to say it here, then I can only say it here. Don't blame me if you make a fool of yourself. Fan Jinja said lightly. At this moment, although there weren't many people in the hall, there were still some. Since Fan Jinja stopped Chen Mengyan, almost everyone's eyes were focused on him. They wanted to see what Fan Jinja wanted to do. Chen Mengyan was a little annoyed. What do you mean by don't air your dirty linen in public? Although she didn't want to bother with him, she was afraid that he would say something disgusting. She could only say, then you can talk with me outside. That's right. Fan Jinja nodded and followed Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun to the outside of the dormitory building. Now, do you have anything to say? Asked Chen Mengyan. Of course, this is a very important matter to you. Fan Jinja said seriously, do you know Yang Ming? What do you want to say? Chen Mengyan was a little impatient, of course I know him. Basically, all the students in the school know that he is my boyfriend. Is there a problem? Hee hee, since you said that he is your boyfriend, why did I see him with another woman? Said Fan Jinja with a slight smile. Another woman? What do you want to say? Chen Mingyan's face sank slightly. In addition to herself, Lin Jiyun, and Zhou Jiejia, Yang Ming naturally had other women. The celebrity Shuya was also his woman. However, these were all secrets that could not be disclosed to the public. Therefore, Chen Mingyan subconsciously thought that Fan Jinja had discovered something and wanted to blackmail her. I don't want to say anything. Do you know Zhao Ying? Fan Jinja shrugged and asked suddenly. Sister Ying? So what if I know her? Chen Mengyan was slightly stunned. Is the person Fan Jinja is talking about Zhao Ying? Hee hee, I saw Yang Ming with Zhao Ying. Fan Jinja nodded seriously. How is it? You didn't expect it, right? What's wrong with that? Yang Ming and I have a good relationship with Sister Ying. So what if you saw them together? Chen Mengyan shook her head and said indifferently. Hee hee, is that so? But I saw them going to a hotel. Fan Jinja said, do you know where Yang Ming is now? Where? Don't talk nonsense. Chen Mengyan naturally would not believe Fan Jinja's words directly. Who knows what this guy is doing here? In this resort. Fan Jinja said confidently, Zhao Ying and Yang Ming are in this resort. How is it? Don't you know? Your boyfriend did not accompany you, but secretly came here with another woman to get a hotel. You, what evidence do you have? Why should I believe you? At this moment, it was impossible for Chen Mengyan not to have any doubts. After all, Fan Jinja was telling the truth, and Zhao Ying was indeed in this resort. Previously, Chen Mengyan had some doubts about why Zhao Ying was in such a hurry today. After disappearing just now, she never appeared again and never contacted her. Could it be that she was really with Yang Ming? What evidence do you have? Hee hee, if you follow me to catch them in the act, won't you have evidence? Fan Jinja was not afraid that Chen Mengyan would not believe him at all, because there was no need for evidence to catch them in the act. What you see with your own eyes is the evidence. Why should I follow you? Chen Mengyan was not a person who believed others so easily. This Fan Jinja was very suspicious. Sister Mengyan, let's go. Ignore him. This person is very mysterious. Don't listen to him. Lin Jiyun was anxious. She had already determined that Zhao Ying came with Yang Ming. Now that she heard Fan Jinja's words, she naturally believed him. But this matter could not be known to Chen Mengyan. If you don't have evidence, we will leave. Don't block the way. Although Chen Mengyan was suspicious, she also felt that what Lin Jiyun said made sense. How could she simply suspect Yang Ming because of a stranger's words? Yang Ming's license plate number is Song BK9999. It is an Audi A8L. I followed him all the way here. Fan Jinja was anxious when he saw that Chen Mengyan was about to leave. Do you know this license plate number? Do you know the car? Chapter 1850. I'm sorry, I really don't know. Chen Mengyan shook her head. Song BK9999? Isn't this the car that I saw Zhao Ying get into at the school gate? Is this really Yang Ming's car? However, Chen Mengyan had never seen Yang Ming drive this car. Yang Ming's usual car was a BMW X5 with a Song B88B88 license plate. So, even if she had some doubts, Chen Mengyan still chose to believe in Yang Ming. Yang Ming didn't like her to always doubt him, and he didn't like her being narrow-minded. So, Chen Mengyan had to try her best not to be impulsive. You don't even know this car? How about this? You call someone and check the owner of this car. I can guarantee that it is definitely Yang Ming's car. Don't go yet. Fan Jinja saw that Chen Mengyan was about to leave, so he said quickly. First of all, why should I call someone to check? Am I going to doubt my boyfriend just because of a stranger's words? Chen Mengyan said, secondly, why are you so kind to tell me all this? What is your purpose? Are you just a kind passerby? Why don't I believe you? Okay. I'll tell the truth. I'll tell the truth. Fan Jinja really had no choice but to tell the truth. I like Zhao Ying. I'm Zhao Ying's suitor. But I saw that Zhao Ying was with Yang Ming, and they even went to a hotel. I wanted to break them up, so I told you to catch them in the act. Is that okay? Is that so? Chen Mengyan looked at Fan Jinja. Yes. That's it. Look at my injuries. Look at my face. It's all because of Yang Ming that I became like this. Along the way, I was behind Yang Ming's car. Zhao Ying was in his car. Fan Jinja said, believe me, I am telling the truth. When Chen Mengyan saw that Fan Jinja was so confident, she was at a loss for a while. Is he telling the truth? Why don't you check the license plate number? If I didn't have any enmity with Yang Ming, why would I complain to you? Do I have nothing to do? Fan Jinja was a little anxious. Then I'll call and ask. Chen Mengyan took out her mobile phone and hesitated. She didn't dial her father's phone number. If she let her father investigate a license plate number, it should be easy to get the result. However, if her father asked, Chen Mengyan couldn't explain, so she called Bao Sanli. Soon, Bao Sanli picked up the phone. Sister-in-law. What's the matter? Chen Mengyan was Yang Ming's official girlfriend, so Bao Sanli naturally didn't dare to neglect. Brother Bao, I have something to ask you. Do you know where this Audi A8L, Song BK9999, belongs to? Asked Chen Mengyan. This. Bao Sanli hesitated. He didn't know why Chen Mengyan suddenly asked about this car. Intuitively, Bao Sanli felt that it shouldn't be a good thing. However, he couldn't lie to Chen Mengyan because if he lied about this kind of thing, he would be easily exposed. Even if he didn't tell Chen Mengyan, she would have other channels to know the owner of the car, so it was better to tell the truth. If he left a bad impression on Chen Mengyan, it would not be worth it. So, he said carefully, sister-in-law, this car belongs to our Ming Yang group. It is Brother Yang's car. After listening to Bao Sanli's words, Chen Mengyan's head suddenly buzzed. A feeling of dizziness suddenly appeared. It's really Yang Ming's car. This Fan Jinja didn't lie to me. And I saw Zhao Ying get into this car with my own eyes today. Could it be that she and Yang Ming accompanied Zhao Ying to the resort? I actually didn't know. Chen Mengyan almost fainted. Lin Jiyun was shocked and quickly supported Chen Mengyan. Sister Mengyan, don't listen to his nonsense. It's impossible. Even if it's Yang Ming's car, there must be other people. It can't only be Sister Ying's car, Sister Lin. You don't have to persuade me. I guess what he saw is true. Chen Mengyan sighed. She looked a little sad. She had already controlled her emotions and tried not to lose her composure. However, whether it is true or not, we will know when we go and see it together. Exactly. Just follow me and see. Fan Jinja nodded, let's go. I will lead the way for you. It's so late. How can we rest assured if you bring us two girls? Lin Jiyun hesitated and tried her best to stop Chen Mengyan. Sister Mengyan, why don't we take a look tomorrow? They are in this resort. There are security guards patrolling everywhere. It's impossible for me to do anything else. You can call for help at any time. Look, there's another security patrol car passing by. Fan Jinja pointed at the security patrol car not far away and said. Sister Lin, he is right. There are security guards patrolling everywhere. There is no danger. Chen Mengyan said, let me see your student ID first. Okay. Fan Jinja nodded and took out his wallet. He took out his student ID and ID card and handed them to Chen Mengyan. Take a look. It's authentic. Chen Mengyan looked at Fan Jinja's student ID and ID card. They were not fake, so she nodded. Then, let's go. Okay. I'll lead the way. Fan Jinja was overjoyed and walked quickly in front. You just need to follow me. Lin Jiyun saw that there was no room for redemption. In desperation, she dialed Yang Ming's number with the phone in her pocket. The first speed dial set by Lin Jiyun was Yang Ming's number, so it was easy to operate blindly. After the call was dialed, Lin Jiyun deliberately said loudly, Sister Mengyan, I don't think Yang Ming is that kind of person. He can't be with Sister Ing. Either there is a misunderstanding, or he saw wrongly. Whether he saw wrongly or not, won't we know in a while? Chen Mengyan didn't mean to excuse Yang Ming, nor did she mean to blame him. She just said faintly, I don't think so. Said Lin Jiyun. You two walk faster. It's quite far. Fan Jinja waved to the two of them. Why don't I stop a security guard scooter and let him take us there? There was still a long distance to the independent villa by the sea. It would take more than 20 minutes to walk. It was better to stop a scooter and go together. Okay, then you go and stop it. Chen Mengyan nodded in agreement when she heard Fan Jinja's suggestion. This is a good suggestion. It will be safer with a security guard by the side. Although Fan Jinja's identity was confirmed and she knew that he was not a liar, there was nothing wrong with being careful. Chapter 1851. Yang Ming looked at the caller ID on the phone and was slightly stunned. Why is Lin Jiyun calling me at this time? Who is it? Zhao Ying was also shocked. She looked at Yang Ming nervously. She was so scared today that she had a heart attack. Knowing that Chen Mengyan was in this resort, Zhao Ying couldn't let go. She always felt uneasy in her heart. It's Lin Jiyun. Yang Ming didn't hide it from Zhao Ying. I'll pick it up. It may be about Mengyan. Zhao Ying nodded nervously. Hello? Yang Ming picked up the phone, but there was no sound on the other end of the phone. There was only some noisy wind. Hello? Yang Ming said hello again. Suddenly, he heard Lin Jiyun's voice on the phone. Sister Mengyan, I don't think Yang Ming is that kind of person. He can't be with Sister Ing. Either there is a misunderstanding, or he saw wrongly. Next, it was Chen Mengyan's voice. Whether he saw wrongly or not, won't we know in a while? I don't think so. Lin Jiyun's voice said. You two walk faster. It's quite far. Why don't I stop a security guard scooter and let him take us there? This time, it was a man's voice. However, when Yang Ming listened carefully, he could be sure that this person was Fan Jinja. Fan Jinja actually found Chen Mengyan. Yang Ming was shocked. He had calculated everything, but he didn't expect that Fan Jinja would actually go to Chen Mengyan to snitch. Okay, then you go and stop him. After that, it was Chen Mengyan's voice. Yang Ming was shocked when he heard that. It seemed that Chen Mengyan was really coming to kill them. Lin Jiyun's voice was very loud. She was afraid that Yang Ming couldn't hear it, so Zhao Ying, who was next to her, also heard it clearly. She was so scared that her face turned pale. She grabbed Yang Ming's arm tightly and was somewhat at a loss. Don't be afraid. Yang Ming hung up the phone and calmly comforted Zhao Ying. Well, you go to Sun Jie's room now. Don't open the door no matter who comes. Just pretend that you're not here. I'll take care of this. Zhao Ying nodded desperately. Then I'll go over now. Yang Ming, you have to be careful. Don't worry about me. It won't be a problem. Yang Ming gave Zhao Ying a comforting smile. Although Zhao Ying also wanted to say a few more words to Yang Ming, time was tight. There was no time at all. Zhao Ying quickly ran out of the room and knocked on the door of Sun Jie's room next door. Ying, why are you here? Sun Jie opened the door and looked at Zhao Ying strangely. Seeing her anxious face, she was even more baffled. What's wrong with you? Sister Sun Jie, something happened. Chen Mengyan came here. What should we do? It's that Fan Jinja. Fan Jinja snitched. Zhao Ying said to Sun Jia nervously. Fan Jinja, that bastard? Sun Jia was a little annoyed when she heard it. Why is this guy so annoying? Ying, come in first. Don't be afraid. I'm here. I promise that nothing will happen. Zhao Ying saw that Sun Jia was still calm and not nervous at all except for scolding Fan Jinja. She was relieved. After pulling Zhao Ying into the room, Sun Jia said to Shao Qing and Zhou Jiejia, who were a little surprised, Sisters, Chen Mengyan is here. We have to unite. If you don't want to have any problems, just listen to my command, okay? Shao Qing and Zhou Jiejia were shocked and they heard it. But since Sun Jia had a way, they naturally nodded to show that they were willing to listen to Sun Jia. Shao Qing didn't have as many ideas as Sun Jia. So, although she was older, she wasn't as smart as Sun Jia. Ying, you should rest and calm down first. Now there's nothing for you to do. Sun Jia said to Zhao Ying. Okay. Zhao Ying was relieved when she heard that there was nothing for her to do and sat aside. Jiejia, now Sister Ying's safety depends on you. You will be obedient, right? Sun Jia glanced at Zhou Jiejia and asked. Okay. Zhou Jiejia didn't want anything to happen to Zhao Ying, so she nodded quickly. That's fine. You go to the bathroom now and take a quick shower. Sun Jia instructed. Sister Sun Jia. I'm on my period. How do I take a shower? Zhou Jiejia was stunned. She didn't understand why Sun Jia asked her to take a shower. You don't have to really take a shower. You just have to simply wet your hair. Sun Jia was a little dumbfounded. Do you know how to pretend? Okay. Although Zhou Jiejia didn't understand what Sun Jia meant, she quickly ran into the bathroom and wet her hair. Dang dang dang. There was a knocking sound on the door of Yang Ming's room. Yang Ming was shocked. Is Chen Mengyan here? Why is she so fast? It's only been less than 5 minutes since Lin Jian called. Even if they came here on an electric scooter, it wouldn't be so fast, right? However, Yang Ming still walked over and opened the door, but the person at the door made Yang Ming stunned. Jiejia, why are you here? Yang Ming was stunned not only because Zhou Jiejia would appear at the door of his room, but the key problem was that Zhou Jiejia's hair was wet, and she was still wrapped in a bath towel. She seemed to have just taken a shower. Sister Sun Jia asked me to come. Zhou Jiejia whispered with a blush. Sun Jia asked you to come. After Yang Ming was stunned, he was suddenly overjoyed. He immediately guessed Sun Jia's intention. This Sun Jia is really too smart. She can even come up with this kind of idea. Yang Ming could only admire her. If Zhao Ying was caught by Chen Mengyan in her room, it would be a big problem. However, if it was Zhou Jiejia in her own room, then it wouldn't be a problem at all. Come in. Yang Ming was pleasantly surprised as he pulled Zhou Jiejia into the room and then closed the door. Yang Ming. I think it's not very good to lie to Sister Mengyan like this. After Zhou Jiejia came in, she couldn't help but sigh. But, if we don't do this, Sister Ying will be in trouble. Well, Jiejia, don't worry about it. There will always be a solution in the future. Let's talk about it after we get through this. Yang Ming comforted her. Zhou Jiejia nodded with a red face. Then, I will go to the bathroom first. Go to the bathroom? Yang Ming was slightly stunned. This is Sister Sun Jia's plan. You quickly take off your coat. Zhou Jiejia didn't have time to explain. Suddenly, there was a noise from below the villa. Zhou Jiejia couldn't continue to explain. She quickly turned and ran to the bathroom, then closed the bathroom door. Yang Ming knew that Fan Jinja came with Chen Mengyan and Lin Jian. They should be downstairs in the villa. Chapter 1852. Dee. The phone's text message notification sounded. Yang Ming knew that it should be a reminder from Little Wang. However, Little Wang was very smart. Although he hated Fan Jinja, he couldn't teach Fan Jinja a lesson in front of Chen Mengyan. In this case, the best way was to not speak and pretend that he didn't know anything. He didn't know how Yang Ming would deal with it, so he didn't dare to speak casually. He still understood that the more he spoke, the more likely he would make a mistake. Is Yang Ming here? Chen Mengyan looked at Little Wang and asked. You are Mengyan's sister-in-law, right? Are you looking for Brother Yang? Little Wang smiled and asked. Which room is he in? Tell me quickly. Chen Mengyan didn't know what Little Wang did, but since he asked, she wouldn't be polite. He is upstairs. I don't know which room he is in. Although Chen Mengyan had never seen Little Wang knew Chen Mengyan and Lin Jian. Seeing them go upstairs, Little Wang only sent a text message to Yang Ming to remind him, then he planned to delay the time. However, Chen Mengyan obviously didn't want to waste time with him. After a snort, she quickly went upstairs. Fan Jinja seemed to have seen through Little Wang's thoughts. He glanced at him mockingly and followed Chen Mengyan and Little Wang upstairs. He wanted to see Yang Ming's miserable appearance and see how Yang Ming was taught a lesson by Chen Mengyan. Little Wang didn't say anything and silently followed them upstairs. Chen Mengyan didn't say much. She directly took out her phone and dialed Yang Ming's number. Yang Ming's ringtone suddenly came from a room on the second floor. Chen Mengyan's face darkened. Yang Ming is really here. For a moment, Chen Mengyan's heart was extremely sour. Yang Ming actually accompanied Zhao Ying to participate in the spring outing. Did he not know that she was also participating in the spring outing? Wasn't his guts a little too big? I'll open the door. Fan Jinja was overjoyed when he heard Yang Ming's ringtone. He was worried that Yang Ming wouldn't turn on his phone, and Chen Mengyan wouldn't be able to find Yang Ming for a while. And if Yang Ming heard the commotion and jumped out of the window to escape, they wouldn't be able to find any evidence and would deny it. Then, Chen Mengyan wouldn't be able to do anything about it. However, since Yang Ming's cell phone rang, it was easy to handle. He couldn't wait for Chen Mengyan to knock on the door. He didn't want to give Yang Ming a chance. What if he gave Yang Ming a chance and Yang Ming was prepared? Bang! Without waiting for Chen Mengyan to answer, Fan Jinja kicked the door panel of the room. Fan Jinja used all his strength, and the villa's door panel was completely made of wood. Since it was inside the villa, there was no need for high-end anti-theft measures, so the door panel was kicked down by Fan Jinja at once. Yang Ming, come out. Look who's here. Fan Jinja shouted and pointed inside the room. Yang Ming was a little speechless about a clown like Fan Jinja. He could actually fool Chen Mengyan. Moreover, he seemed to know that Chen Mengyan would deal with him, so he wasn't afraid of provoking him at this moment. Yang Ming, why are you here? There was no anger in Chen Mengyan's voice, but it could be seen from her face that she was very angry at the moment. Yang Ming was a little embarrassed because he and Zhou Jiejia had teamed up to deceive Chen Mengyan. However, Chen Mengyan misunderstood and thought that Yang Ming was guilty. I'm here for a spring outing. What are you doing here? Chen Mengyan's heart was in pain now. Yang Ming was really here. Although Zhao Ying was not in the room, Yang Ming was shirtless at the moment, wearing only a pair of shorts. Chen Mengyan didn't believe that he was in the room by himself. Would Yang Ming have nothing better to do? Why would he drive to this resort just to sleep for a night? Yang Ming was a little ashamed of Chen Mengyan, but he could only brace himself and hold on. It was because he couldn't hurt any woman. Zhao Ying's love for him was not earlier than Chen Mengyan's. From the perspective of time, Zhao Ying and he should be the first to start. However, because of Zhao Ying's special identity at that time, the two of them didn't continue to develop. Mengyan, I'm sorry. Yang Ming lowered his head and pretended to do something wrong. In fact, he was really a little guilty. Sure enough. Yang Ming, you really disappoint me. Chen Mengyan couldn't say the words to break up with Yang Ming. She couldn't break up with Yang Ming either. Now, there was only disappointment left in her heart. Lin Jiyun looked at Yang Ming anxiously. Didn't I already remind him? How can he still admit it? Moreover, Zhao doesn't seem to be in this room. What else can Yang Ming admit? Mengyan, in fact, I didn't deliberately not tell you. It's just that this matter happened suddenly, and I'm also a little embarrassed. Yang Ming scratched his head. Embarrassed? What are you embarrassed about? Chen Mengyan looked at Yang Ming coldly. Where is she? Let Zhao Ying come out. Chen Mengyan glanced around the room and didn't find Zhao Ying's figure. It was a little strange. Where did Zhao Ying go? Zhao Ying? Yang Ming was stunned. He looked at Chen Mengyan with some confusion. Sister Ying? Are you looking for Sister Ying? Then who do you think I'm looking for? What are you pretending for? Chen Mengyan saw Yang Ming's shocked expression and was a little annoyed. Didn't you admit it before? Why are you going back on your words now? I'm not pretending. Yang Ming looked at Chen Mengyan strangely. Mengyan, if you are looking for Sister Ying, she's not here, not here? Chen Mengyan was going to explode. You just admitted it, and now you're changing your words? If Yang Ming admitted his mistake, Chen Mengyan wouldn't be so angry. But Yang Ming actually went back on his words after admitting his mistake. What kind of attitude is this? Chen Mengyan looked around the room. In this villa room, except for a desk, a sofa, a bedside table, and a double bed, there was no other furniture. So, at a glance, she could see that no one was hiding here. But Chen Mengyan's gaze suddenly fell on the door of the bathroom in the room. The bathroom door was closed. Chen Mengyan snorted coldly. She went straight forward, opened the bathroom door, and rushed in. Entering the bathroom, Chen Mengyan saw that there was a girl hiding in the bathroom, but this girl wasn't Zhao Ying, but Zhou Jiejia. At this moment, Zhou Jiejia was wrapped in a bath towel. Her hair was wet. It was obvious that she had just taken a bath. When she saw Chen Mengyan, she lowered her head embarrassedly. Sister Mengyan. I'm sorry, Jiejia, why are you here? Chen Mengyan was stunned. She thought that the person in the bathroom was Zhao Ying, but she didn't expect it to be Zhou Jiejia. Chapter 1853. I'm sorry, Sister Mengyan. I just want to have a romantic night with Yang Ming. Zhou Jiejia explained shyly and embarrassedly, you and Sister Lin went to the spring outing. I was alone at home, so I wanted to be with Yang Ming. After that, Zhou Jiejia lowered her head shyly. Chen Mengyan was a little stunned. Yang Ming came with Zhou Jiejia? But I came here to catch them in the act. What would Zhou Jiejia think? Now that Zhou Jiejia was so scared by me, she would definitely think that I was narrow-minded and deliberately came to ruin their good thing, but in all honesty, I came to catch Zhao Ying, not Zhou Jiejia. If I knew that the person in Yang Ming's room was Zhou Jiejia, not only would Chen Mengyan not come, but she would also give her blessing silently. For Zhou Jiejia, Chen Mengyan had already accepted her. Otherwise, she wouldn't let her live in the villa. After Zhou Jiejia lived in the villa, Yang Ming had been very busy. He traveled back and forth between the country and abroad, so there was no chance to be alone with Zhou Jiejia. Even if Chen Mengyan wanted to create opportunities for her, Yang Ming didn't have time. When Yang Ming was finally free, Zhou Jiejia went to work on an online project with Sister Shaoqing. Therefore, Yang Ming and Zhou Jiejia had been together in name only, which made Chen Mengyan very anxious. Zhou Jiejia and Yang Ming probably also realized this, so they found a day when he and Lin Jiyun went out to play. They wanted to have a romantic night with Zhou Jiejia, but it was ruthlessly ruined by him. Thinking of this, Chen Mengyan's eyes couldn't help but turn red. She held Zhou Jiejia's hand. Sister Jiejia. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was you. I ruined your good thing. Don't blame me. I'll leave now. Chen Mengyan was very guilty. Why did I believe that Fan Jinja's words? At first glance, that kid was not a good person. If he was a good person, would he be beaten up by Yang Ming? He probably lied about what he said. He just wanted to retaliate against Yang Ming, but he didn't dare, so he asked me to help destroy Yang Ming's good thing. Why am I so stupid to believe Fan Jinja's words? It's okay. Zhou Jiejia shook her head. It's my fault. I should have told you in advance. It's not Zhao Ying. Chen Mengyan shook her head. Previously, she directly called Zhao Ying's name was because she was annoyed. She directly called Zhao's Zhao name. But now she knew that the person in Yang Ming was not the person in Yang's room, was not Zhao, was nodding, was not. Sister. Said. Chen. Was. Yang. Said. Sister Ying is really here? Chen Mengyan frowned slightly. It seems that what Fan Jinja said is not unreasonable. Zhao Ying is really here. Yeah, she and Sister Sun Jia are here. Both of them are Sister Shao Qing's students. We all came together. Zhou Jiejia said what Sun Jia had already arranged for her. My mother also has shares in this resort, so Sister Sun Jia invited me and Sister Zhao Ying to play together. Sister Shao Qing and Sister Zhao Ying have a good relationship, so we came together. They are all in the room next door. After Zhou Jiejia's explanation, Chen Mengyan knew that she was overthinking. It turned out that Shao Qing, Sun Jia, and Zhao Ying had a teacher-student relationship, so it was normal for them to be together. Zhou Jiejia came with them, but she brought along Yang Ming. Fan Jinja probably saw Yang Ming and Zhao Ying, so he thought that Yang Ming and Zhao Ying came to get a room. In fact, Yang Ming came with a group of people. Jiejia, you guys continue. I'm leaving. I'm sorry. I will compensate you when I go home. Chen Mengyan waved to Zhou Jiejia embarrassedly. Sister Mengyan, why don't you stay? I suddenly have that. Zhou Jiejia blushed and whispered. Ah. Chen Mengyan was stunned. I just found out. Zhou Jiejia said shyly, I had calculated the date, but who knew that it would be brought forward, damn. Chen Mengyan was a little speechless. Then I won't disturb you guys. You guys can hug each other and sleep. After Chen Mengyan finished speaking, she turned and walked out of the bathroom. She pointed at Fan Jinja angrily and said to little Wang, who followed upstairs, you throw this guy out. Yes. Little Wang was overjoyed when he heard that Chen Mengyan wanted him to throw Fan Jinja out. He had wanted to do this for a long time. Although he didn't know what happened in the bathroom, Chen Mengyan definitely didn't care about it. So, little Wang showed his prowess and grabbed Fan Jinja's collar. You bastard, go to hell. When Fan Jinja was dragged downstairs by little Wang, Chen Mengyan was a little embarrassed and said with some blame, Yang Ming, why didn't you tell me that you brought Jiejia here? How could I stop you? Really, I'm leaving. Don't be angry about what happened just now. It's okay. It was my fault. I thought that it would be fine to come here secretly with Jiejia. I didn't want to disturb you and Jian. I didn't expect Fan Jinja to hold a grudge after being beaten up by me once. Yang Ming said with a bitter smile. I'm so stupid. How could I believe that guy? Chen Mengyan shook her head and held Lin Jian's hand. Sister Lin, let's go. While Chen Mengyan was talking, Shao Qing took Sun Jia and Zhao Ying out of the room. There was such a big commotion outside. It would be fake if they didn't come out to take a look. What's wrong? What happened? Shao Qing pretended to be sleepy and asked, Isn't this Mengyan? Why are you here? Sister Shao Qing. Chen Mengyan was a little embarrassed. Nothing. I'm leaving. Since you're here, why don't you stay for a while before leaving? Shao Qing invited with a smile. However, Chen Mengyan was very embarrassed. How could she have the nerve to stay? She had already ruined Yang Ming and Jiejia's chance to be alone. She just wanted to leave here quickly. No, we still have things to do over there. We'll leave first. Chen Mengyan pulled Lin Jiyun and escaped downstairs. Heh. Yang Ming secretly gave a thumbs up to Sun Jie. Her trick was simply too powerful. She easily turned the situation around. Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun went downstairs and saw little Wang beating Fan Jinja at the door of the villa. Surprisingly, she didn't hate violence. Instead, she said to little Wang with hatred, "Beat him up. How dare this guy fool people?" Yes. Little Wang nodded and fought even harder. Fan Jinja continued to wail like a ghost and howl like a wolf. He still didn't know what he did wrong. Why did Chen Mengyan's attitude suddenly change? Chapter 1854. Chen Mengyan, your boyfriend is with another woman. Can't you see it? Why don't you care? Fan Jinja saw Chen Mengyan coming downstairs and shouted at the top of his lungs. He was very puzzled. Why is Chen Mengyan not only not angry when she sees Yang Ming with another woman, but also has a self-blaming expression? Is Chen Mengyan stupid? Is she brainwashed? Chen Mengyan glanced at Fan Jinja coldly. It was this guy who almost ruined my relationship with Jejia. He almost ruined my image as an elder sister. I can imagine that if I was more impulsive today and kicked open the bathroom door directly, exposing Zhou Jejia wrapped in a bath towel in front of everyone and in front of Fan Jinja, would Jejia hate me to death? Although there is a towel on her body and the key parts are covered, it will still be very embarrassing. Zhou Jejia will definitely be very uncomfortable. Even if she won't do anything to me for the sake of her reputation, she won't say anything, but there will definitely be a knot in her heart. Thinking about it, Chen Mengyan felt scared. Why did I listen to Fan Jinja's instigation? Little Wang, continue to hit him. This guy is really annoying. He is a big liar. Chen Mengyan was even angrier when she saw that Fan Jinja still did not forget to sow discord in such a situation. You are already being hit, and you still want to do something annoying? Aren't you looking for a beating? Okay. Little Wang responded and continued to hit Fan Jinja. Chen Mengyan, you are a fool. Is there water in your head? Fan Jinja was anxious. This Chen Mengyan doesn't look like a fool. When I told her about this before, she was very angry. It wasn't fake, right? Why did she suddenly change her mind after coming here? Fan Jinja couldn't figure out what he did wrong because he felt that he didn't do anything wrong at all. Step by step, in theory, everything was going according to his plan. Why did Chen Mengyan suddenly change her mind? Don't worry about my family's matters. Chen Mengyan was also angry. Why are you so free to worry about my family's matters? Are you sick in the head? You can't even manage your own matters, why do you care about others? You are really a retard. There is something wrong with your mind. Fan Jinja scolded. However, his voice soon turned into a wail. He was punched and kicked by Lil Wang and became even more miserable. When Lil Wang saw that this guy was still yelling under his fist, he immediately became anxious. If others saw this, they would think that he was not strong enough. Brother Yang and Mengyan's sister-in-law would blame him. Therefore, little Wang swung his arms and hit Fan Jinja with all his might. He directly hit Fan Jinja until he cried for his parents. He no longer had the energy to scold Chen Mengyan. Although the security guards patrolling nearby saw this scene, no one came forward to stop it because they all knew that Sun Jia, the chairman of the group, lived in this villa. Therefore, Sun Jia must have known about the beating at the entrance of the villa. How could the security guards dare to interfere in this matter? However, Chen Mengyan waved to them. The two patrolling security guards immediately drove the battery patrol car over. Is there anything I can help you with? The two security guards also saw that Chen Mengyan came out of Sun Jie's villa. Obviously, Sun Jie knew her, so they immediately showed respect and flattery. "Can you send us to the hotel building in front?" Chen Mengyan pointed to a direction in the distance and said. "Okay, please get in the car," said the security guard quickly. This was just a small matter. It was just a small matter. Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun got in the car and quickly left. Chen Mengyan was very guilty. Originally, Yang Ming and Zhou Jiejia should have had a good night, but because I listened to the words of a villain, I ruined it. It seems that I have to explain to Jiejia properly when I go back. Yang Ming and Zhao Ying naturally did not dare to live together because of Chen Mengyan's sudden intervention. But fortunately, they had already confirmed each other's feelings. It was considered that they had officially started dating, so they did not care about this time. Although Zhou Jiejia wanted to return to Sun Jie and Xiao Qing's room, Zhao Ying did not want to exchange with her. Zhou Jiejia had no choice but to return to Yang Ming's room. In fact, she was also very happy in her heart. During this time, she and sister Xiao Qing were busy studying the network protocol in the laboratory. There were few opportunities to be alone with Yang Ming, so Zhou Jiejia was also very happy to be able to live with Yang Ming. Sister Mengyan is actually very good to me. She is also very good, and she loves you very much. We shouldn't lie to her. Zhou Jiejia was lying in Yang Ming's arms with some guilt. She was still a little tangled about the previous matter. Zhao Ying was in trouble, so she had to help. But while she helped Zhao Ying, she also lied to Chen Mengyan. This made Zhou Jiejia's heart very uncomfortable. She didn't feel much before, but now that she thought about it, she regretted it a little. In fact, I am also very guilty about this kind of thing. Yang Ming smiled bitterly and sighed. You should probably know some of the things between me, Sun Jie, and Xiao Qing, right? We have experienced a lot of things together before we finally came together, just like you and me. So, I am not willing to give up any of them, and it is impossible for them to leave me. And I understand this. I heard Sister Xiao Qing tell me about your things, and I am the same. If you want me to leave you, I might as well die. Zhou Jiejia nodded. So, I understand their feelings, but I just feel that Sister Mengyan is also innocent, Mengyan. I am sorry for her, but I think she will slowly accept this, just like how she accepted you and Jiyun. Yang Ming said helplessly. I hope so. Now, even Sister Lin is colluding with the enemy behind and tipping you off. Sister Mengyan has become alone. It is really hard to imagine what Sister Mengyan will do if there is a conflict between them one day. Zhou Jiejia shook her head. I'm afraid she won't be able to accept it, it shouldn't be. The reason why Yang Ming wasn't worried about this was that he was going to leave soon to perform a dangerous mission in Yunnan. If Chen Mengyan knew about this, would she still have the mood to be jealous? Whether I can come back safely is already a problem. What is there to fight about? So, if there is such a day, and Chen Mengyan knows all of this, then it will have to wait until I come back safely from Yunnan. If I can't come back, thinking about the future is purely worrying for nothing. Chapter 1855. That night, Yang Ming and Zhou Jiejia slept in each other's arms. They didn't speak for the entire night. However, the next day, Yang Ming didn't dare to spend too much time with Zhao Ying. Instead, he accompanied Zhou Jiejia to walk around the resort. During this time, they really met Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun at the seaside. For the second encounter, Yang Ming suddenly broke into a sweat. He secretly thought, what a close call. If I didn't come out with Zhou Jiejia this time but with Zhao Ying, then it would be useless to explain. Chen Mengyan wouldn't believe me, but fortunately, I came out with Zhou Jiejia. After Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun saw it, they didn't come over to disturb them. They just waved from a distance, turned around and left, leaving the space for Yang Ming and Zhou Jiejia. In the afternoon, Zhao Ying went back in Xiao Qing's car. she didn't dare to be in the same car as Yang Ming. Yang Ming drove Zhou Jejia back first. Although this spring outing wasn't very satisfactory, Yang Ming was also very happy. First of all, he confirmed his relationship with Xiao Ying. They both knew each other's feelings. Secondly, Zhou Jejia was also very happy. This was also an unforgettable night spent alone with her. After sending Zhou Jejia back to the villa, Yang Ming drove to the nearby Songshan city. Previously, Guan Shuamin called and talked about Shen Yushi's treatment plan. He asked for Yang Ming's opinion. He couldn't explain it clearly on the phone, so he asked Yang Ming to go over and talk about it in detail. Regarding Shen Yushi's matter, Yang Ming had a headache. Yang Ming was very clear about Shen Yushi's thoughts. This little girl had always been interested in him. Before her leg was injured, it was very obvious. However, after her leg was injured, it was not so obvious. Yang Ming knew very well that Shen Yushi had not changed her mind. This could be seen from the way she looked at him and her shy expression. The reason why Shen Yushi did not show her love for him as obviously as before was entirely because after her leg was broken, she became inferior and felt that she was not worthy of him. Previously, although Shen Yushi thought that there was a gap between her identity and Yang Ming's, she was young and beautiful. Even if she couldn't become Yang Ming's girlfriend, she could still be his lover. But now, Shen Yushi was very clear that she had become a disabled person who could not even take care of herself. If she still had any fantasies, it was just asking for trouble. However, the more Shen Yushi acted like this, the more uneasy and helpless Yang Ming felt. Yang Ming sympathized with this girl, but he could not promise her anything. Although Yang Ming knew that if he promised her something, she would be very, very happy, he was afraid that she would be even more disappointed after having some hope. He asked little Wang to drive him to the family villa area of Songshan Medical University and stopped in front of Guan Shuamin's villa. Little Wang, I've troubled you these 2 days. You just came back from Donghai, and now you have to come to Songshan again. Yang Ming patted little Wang's shoulder. After returning to Songjiang City, little Wang did not even go home. Instead, he drove Yang Ming to Songshan again. It's nothing. Little Wang shook his head a little embarrassedly. Actually, in my heart, I really hope that Brother Yang can ask me to drive more often. This way, I will have a lot of face in front of my colleagues, hee hee. Yang Ming smiled. He did not expect little Wang to have such thoughts. But thinking about it, in the company, a driver who could drive for the company's top management would be looked upon favorably by his colleagues. Then you wait for me. I have something to do. If you're hungry, you can find a restaurant to eat first. It's okay. I just saw a fast food restaurant at the school gate. I'll just buy a box lunch. Although Yang Ming asked him to eat, little Wang would not do so. What if Yang Ming suddenly wanted to use the car? So, he was prepared to buy a boxed lunch in the car. That's fine. Up to you. Yang Ming did not say anything else. Ever since little Wang followed him, his life had improved and his family had become more harmonious. Yang Ming naturally knew that little Wang was grateful to him, so he did not say anything else. Yang Ming went up the stairs of the villa and pressed the doorbell. This time, it was a middle-aged woman who opened the door. Yang Ming vaguely heard Guan Shuamin mention that she was called Auntie Lu, and was the nanny here. Auntie Lu, I'm Yang Ming. Professor Guan asked me to come. Yang Ming introduced himself. I know, Mr. Yang. Please come in. Auntie Lu nodded, indicating that she knew Yang Ming. Yang Ming entered the villa and heard Guan Shuamin's voice from the living room. I told you no means no. Don't do those dirty things. What followed was the voice of Guan Xiaoxiang, the son who had seen Guan Shuamin the other day. Dad, how is that dirty? I started a company with a classmate to earn some money and prove my ability. I have a girlfriend now. If I don't earn money, how am I going to support my family? I'm going to graduate next year, get married, and have kids. You want me to starve? Go work in a hospital after graduation. Be a staff member, the job is stable and the pay is good. Guan Shuamin said. You're not cut out for running a company. I'm not going. I'm not studying medicine, I'm studying pharmaceutical management. What can I do in a hospital? Let me be the director. Guan Xiaoxiang clearly did not want to listen to Guan Shuamin. I'll just be a staff member. I'll only earn 1,000 or 2,000 a month. How am I going to get married and have kids? Dad, you really don't know how much a can of milk powder costs, right? I'll give you some. It's barely enough. Guan Shuamin said. Barely enough? Don't think I don't know you. You're so honest. If anyone else had your medical skills, they'd already be working in a private hospital and earning big bucks. Guan Xiaoxiang was dissatisfied. I want to open a clinic with a classmate. I just want to borrow your fame. It doesn't matter if you do house calls or not. Borrow my fame? You're just a bunch of interns who haven't even gotten a license to practice medicine. You want to open a clinic? You want to use my fame to cheat people? Wait until you have the money and the ability to find a few reliable doctors. Then you can open a clinic. Now get the hell back to school and study hard. Guan Shuamin snorted. Why? If I had the money, would I need your fame? I could open my own hospital and hire a few famous doctors. Why would I need your fame? Guan Xiaoxiang was not convinced. Big Bro is still using your fame to cheat people. Why don't you care about him? He's done for. I don't want you to end up like him. Guan Shuamin snorted. No means no. You're such a stubborn old man. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.